When walls talk back and windows cry, boundaries drawn under heavy skies. In the space between the said and seen lies a story that cuts unclean. Hold the ties that thread and tangle tight. Diplomatic dances in the cold moonlight. A step misplaced and the stage does sway. Persona non grata carried far away. Persona non grata carried far away.
Foxtrot Alpha, Foxtrot Oscar. Friends and family only, folks. Friends and family only.
I'm saying bye to all the lies and all the times you cried, saying that I wasn't right, yet I was right by your side. You manipulator, playing games, your friends commentators, and I don't know what you say about our private conversations, but it's got them hating. Thanks to all the rumors you be claiming. It's cool, I'm done with you, so they can throw you a celebration. You gon' hate it when you see me with somebody living better. I'm trying to tell you that me just doing me gon' have you jealous.
Diplomatic dances in the cold moonlight. Ibrahim Rasul, welcome back to the program, folks. Good to see you all here once again. It is Tuesday, March 18th, 2025. I started to say 2022. Where'd that go? 2025. Welcome to all my fellow Neanderthals, Homo sapiens, homosexuals, heterosexuals, brown, white, black, Christian, Jew, Muslim audience. Welcome to all of you. All the canines out there, welcome to you as well. And especially a warm greeting to the right-wing podcasters. Still getting a kick out of that. Oh, my goodness. Should I just reduce the people who write stuff that to left-wing deuce? Should I just call them that? Welcome back, folks. So I hope you appreciate the delay. I had to get breaking news out. That was more important than starting the news on time. The breaking news out of South Africa is that Neil Diamond, a former guest on this program, the chairman or president of the South African Chamber of Commerce in the USA, Neil Diamond apparently delivered to the U.S. Embassy. I'd heard rumors about this, but now we see confirmation of it. Delivered to the U.S. Embassy a list of names for all the people that express interest in this refugee resettlement program. Now, the South African Chamber of Commerce says nothing to do with the U.S. government, nothing to do with refugee resettlement, nothing whatsoever. But in the absence, in the vacuum of space left by the American government in the immediate aftermath of those events, when President Trump announced his program the 7th of February, people went to the South African Chamber of Commerce. They came here, tried to express their interest, but I wasn't running a list. That's not my job to do that. But they did it, and 67,042 names were turned over to the American government. Conservatively speaking, folks, if you consider that some are single, some are married with lots of kids, some adult kids that are gone, but immediate family, on average, you can say it's probably 4. So conservatively, you could take that figure, 67,000, multiply it by 4, and come with about 275,000 that went to the U.S. Chamber of Commerce alone, which many people rubbish. After the first 4 or 5 days, people are like, no, don't go to them, don't trust them, don't give them any information. What do they collect this information for? Well, folks, a lot of people didn't go there because of that. Imagine what the real true number would have been if they'd actually been a clearinghouse for it. 67,000. Wow, exactly, But hey, I agree. I say nobody's interested in this. No, we're not going anywhere. The government of South Afrikaners aren't going anywhere. We love Afrikaners. They're wonderful. Meanwhile, they lay in wait to murder Adrian Vos. By the way, I put that on my Twitter account. And the vile racist scumbags are, of course, responding on the cesspool that is Twitter /X with their vile nonsense, attacking me. I'm not even South African, dingbat. Your idiocy. You're telling me that they're going to take land back from me. I don't own any land in South Africa. Good luck with that. You can take land back from me all day long, you moron. I don't live in South Africa. I don't own land there. Yeah, well, what's News 24 going to say? They're going to rubbish it. They're going to claim it's not true. They'll come up with something. That's a lot of tax money. Yep. Hugo Basson, welcome to you. Everyone's sorry for being late. I'm late too. Watch new vid, John Pollock and Newsbiz. Oh, you saw me. Yeah, my video is on there. I was interviewed this morning. The title I'm not too thrilled with. It's going to make me look like a bad guy, but I actually said some good things about South Africa in that interview. Anyway, but Jan Lutz, welcome to you. Sound like a new person here. Good to see you there. Corey, have a greener shirt than you. Okay, Tony, that's interesting. Only the tip of the iceberg. Yeah, it probably is only the tip of the iceberg. As much as I would love to, I won't be one of those going, says Alan. Well, that's fine, Alan. I'm not asking anybody to go. Don't come to my house, man. Congratulations on how well your channel is doing, sir. Given the history of African politics, do you think ANC would hand over power willing, peaceful? I'm growing increasingly less convinced that they might, although I still think they will. Never went to put my name on that in the hat. Well, plenty of people did here. 40 to 60,000 people have come here, expressed their interest in the first few weeks of this stuff, and now fewer are coming, but many were. So lots of news to talk about, but I want to break that story first. So that video is out there. I ask you to go watch it after this. I'm going to put that up as the pinned link now. Get a shareable link, and let me just get rid of the pinned link up there. So paste. All right, so I'm going to paste that. Come on, get out of there. All right, so that link is up there, so you can watch that some other time, not right now. But yeah, the channel doing well, but it could be doing a lot better, folks. The speed is really slow. Hey, Jane Bam just subscribed. Thank you for that. I thought I was going to say Jam Bam, but it said Jan Bam. Thank you for the subscription. Yeah, so we could be doing a lot better, but I showed everybody what's going on yesterday with the content not being promoted. We're getting people mostly because you all are telling people about the channel. Most of my new subscribers are coming from that, not from YouTube sharing my content, which is very annoying and disappointing. So Eric is here. Garrett Gillich. Oh, there's two OGs from the very beginning here. Erica and Garrett, Madeline Olafia, Nunik88, Marinda Duplessis, Sai, Lindy Donhäuser, Henry Fouché, Wen Mare, Canada. Please hit the like button. Yes, please do that, Belinda. Thank you for asking people that. There's Arctic showing off with his Afrikaans. Mr. Snooze, Gideon, Julie, Peter Jacobson. All right, I'm going to jump ahead a little bit here, folks. Just saw the clip, almost 300,000 ready to go. That number will raise significantly when the rest of the morons who didn't believe Trump will do this. Yeah, the late movers will wind up in the back of the queue, Hank Duploy. Peter. Yeah, so look, I'm getting all kinds of messages from people that the American embassies contact them. I have yet to receive a message from the American embassy confirming that. I'm getting a little bit annoyed with my government. I contacted them. I have to do a Freedom Information Act request. I don't know, but very, very annoying that they haven't responded to this. Let me just see if I got any state.gov emails that came in. There we go, state.gov. Let's see if anything came in today. No. I have an advert telling me to apply for a U.S. passport. I have a U.S. passport. I don't need one. Whoa, hang on. Go back. State.gov. Maybe I have something. But I didn't see it. Something. Now, that's an email from one of you all. Yeah, nothing there. So, yeah, nothing from the State Department. I asked them on Thursday, and I haven't got a response yet. It's already Tuesday. This is unacceptable. So it appears we've had people who are IT experts look at the metadata in those emails, and I've also looked at it. I'm not an IT expert, but I'm certainly well-versed in IT. I used to write code and build computers and built websites back in the day. But it appears to be legitimate emails telling people to go. I just was concerned that it asked for your personally identifiable information. Don't think that was necessary. I wouldn't have done that if I'd done it. But whatever the case is, if you've been offered an appointment from the U.S. Embassy, it's up to you whether you take it. What I'd recommend now is if you're interested in this program, write to the embassy, go to the email address that they offer, and express your interest. Get in there now. Get your name in there. 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 All right? Since they're actually paying attention to the emails. Just watch that video. It's a big number. Interesting going, yep, it is crazy. That's a proper soapy song, says Jason Barnard. I'll take Tree, No Time for Tense. Yeah, No Time for Tense. There we go. I should make a music song called No Time for Tense. The mods will delete duplicate questions. Yeah, there you go. Okay. Also, had to sanction somebody this morning who is a troll who's been, given a lot of rope and decided to hang himself. So, all right, so he's out now. All right, what else we got here? Looking for questions. Everyone's greeting. It's nice. I can't get everybody's greetings today. We'll skip that because it's the news. 612 people currently here. 305 likes. What's up with that, folks? Why do I have to keep reminding folks? Please hit the like button.
That was easy.
Mr. Sergeant Duck says, is it possible for USA Transport and Economy to turn 75,000? Well, we did 162,000 in just a couple of days, in a few days from Afghanistan. And that was a chaotic nonsense of people who are unvetted. Imagine what we can do for people who are vetted, bring them here. Yeah, it can be done. Vaughn Deisel. Welcome, Vaughn, for your subscription. Yeah, imagine what can happen there, folks. Imagine what can happen. Yeah, we can manage that. We have a massive fleet of how many C-17s the U.S. government has? Okay, let's see. Yeah, U.S. SAF C-17 fleet size. Okay, let's see how big it is. I don't know, a couple hundred maybe? 223 C-17s currently in the process. Yep. Oh, final fleet's 217. Originally, we were going to buy 120, so I guess we have that many now. Let's see what it says at the Air Force site. Yep. Doesn't tell me how many are here. They're $202 million a piece in $1998. Anyway, yeah, so we supposedly have like 203 of them. Is that right? C-17s. Anyway, plenty of those. And that's not the only aircraft. We can contract carriers, do third-party stuff. All kinds of stuff can be done. Yep. Yeah, so friends and family only, folks. FAFO. There you go. That's the G-rated version of that. Chris Wyatt, Army Rhythms. There you go. Yeah, please hit the like button. America's in need of farmers. We have no, Corey, we're not in need of farmers. Stop that. That's not true. But you're welcome to come here if you're eligible for the program. But we're not in need of farmers. From a Val to another Val, I agree with you. Who they blame 30 years from now if we're no longer here. Yeah, it was a long intro, Johann Barkhuizen. It was indeed. Okay, where's the News 24 show yourself? Huh? I don't know what that means. Is that a joke? All right. People are here before we got stuck in hour started. Joking, tried to tap first. I meant farm workers. Yeah, no, I got you. I'm just saying we don't need farmers. That's a myth. 70 Rand from PH saying, thanks for the news. 67,000 people. Wow, exactly. Just watch your business interview. Well done. Thank you. Well, thank you, Van. I wasn't happy with it. I was kind of groggy, not fully awake when I did that. My name isn't on that list, and my family's larger than 4, says Mr. Jardin. There you go. So they increase it by more than 4, okay? There's something called the Protection of Personal Information Act, which Neil violated by handing information to 67,000 people, $10 million fine. I don't know that they did it, hand it over. Those people willingly, voluntarily gave their information. So you can't hand over information that you don't have permission for. So, Napoleon, I think you're speaking out of turn here. If you willingly give your information over to be shared with people, then so if your argument's true, then every time someone applies for a Google account, then a POPI Act violation has occurred. But that's simply not the case. You agree to allow Google to share your information with others when you sign up for their service, and they do. They share your information with everybody. And so, there's no POPI Act violation here. None. Hello, Hugo. All right, so we're getting caught up on the chat here now. Went past the embassy today in Hatfield, and there was a few people standing at the entrance. Well, there's always a few people there for whatever reason. There's always business going on there. Fine print. They also gave that info to help people. Why are people so sensitive? Yep. SV Endless, there is no refugee program currently for those who think there is. Well, no one thinks there is because those who watch this program, SV Endless, know there's no program because I've said so. There is a U.S. refugee program, but it's currently suspended from January 20th for 90 days. But that has nothing to do with South Africa. South Africa has a new executive order from February 7th directing the Department of State and Homeland Security to produce a refugee admissions program prioritizing Afrikaners who are suffering from unjust racial discrimination unrelated to the 20th January. If they get off their ass and promulgate this, then it's in effect whenever they want to put it in effect. So, yeah, what's your point, buddy? What's your point, SV? What's your point? It says interest. Didn't say people who are getting on boats to come here or getting on planes. It says those who have expressed an interest. Words matter. Words matter. The JFK files going to be released today? I didn't know that. Kennedy files are set to be released. Okay. You see how much I care? I'm nonplussed. Okay. I cannot only apply once. I know Chris, the U.S. government says it's up and running. Looks like the ANC is getting on with the same boat in Europe as with the love. Yeah, no doubt. All right. Can I talk for everybody? But my farming community, there is at least a third of us farmers going and even more sending their children over 21 years old. There you go. Aubrey Olvog is back. Mine and my family are on the list, just waiting for it all to come together. All right, cool beans. All right, cool. All right, good afternoon, Chris. Were you guys? No, the tornado didn't. There was a tornado watch. We don't really get tornadoes here for the most part, but it died off. It died off, yeah. So thankfully, we're okay here. You're welcome, RSA Bardo Electrical. My pleasure. All right, folks, let's get to some of the news. Okay, we covered one of them. What's Jan got to say before I get there? State Department has been finding vehicles to hunt Hunter Biden as personal use while he's vacation Cape Town. Yeah, that's true. That's true. Costing us a fortune. All righty. So, speaking of that, first thing out of the gate, last night I broke this story again for South Africans because many were asleep. President Trump has revoked the Secret Service detail for Hunter Biden and for Ashley Biden. Ouch. That's going to leave a mark. That's going to leave a mark. There's Team Fento at 70 Rand Super Chat. There we go. Super Chat's coming in. You lost the sound, Joe? Okay, well, let me see if anyone else has lost the sound. I can see if I can hear it. If anyone else has lost the sound. No, Joe, refresh the page, Joe. Refresh the page, okay? Praying a different opportunity to apply. I already saw your message once, Chris Wyatt the second. I didn't respond to it, so, yeah, okay. So, Donald Trump has revoked, and this is his prerogative, the Secret Service for Hunter Biden. Said on Monday it was ending immediately the Secret Service protection details assigned to Joe Biden's adult children, which the former president extended to July since shortly before leaving office in January. Wow. Please be advised, effective immediately, Hunter Biden will no longer receive Secret Service protection. Likewise, Ashley Biden, who has 13 agents, will be taken off the list. Wow. Now, normally what happens is a matter of protocol. The extended family members of a president can get Secret Service protection for up to 6 months. And that's kind of been the norm in most cases. However, given that the former president saw fit to divert, his Secret Service saw fit to divert agents protecting his political opponent in the race for office, when Donald Trump was in Butler, Pennsylvania, and insufficient Secret Service agents, incompetent Secret Service agents were on the scene. We've yet to see anyone pay the price for that. President Trump nearly assassinated Butler, Pennsylvania, while First Lady Jill Biden was at a safe location in Pittsburgh with 2-3 times as many Secret Service agents protecting her PhD education ass, not protecting the political opponent and competitor for the White House. So before people lose their minds about Trump pulling this protection, Biden didn't give a flying flip about the life of a former president and his opponent. Didn't do anything to protect him. And then he was nearly assassinated again in Florida because of the incompetence of the Secret Service, and Biden did nothing to do it. So before people lose their minds over Hunter Biden, a convicted felon, a crack addict, and a illegal gun possessor as a convicted felon, don't lose any sleep over that. Not a guy that deserves that kind of protection. Well, am I the right one here? This isn't the right one. It is the wrong window. The wrong window open there, folks. That's the wrong one again. What's going on here? Where's my... Did I lose all my news? There we go. All right, found it. Got the right news. Sorry about that, folks. That's what happens when you're busy making production just before you go live. Yeah, Elon does need security. They should divert those agents to Elon Musk. Yeah, all right. So, all right, let's... there's another super chat. That one from Vans de Burns. Is that Vantage de Burns? Okay, thank you so much for that. 35 towards that good coffee for you. Well, thank you very much for that. Appreciate that. All right, so not all is lost. Pretoria is focused on resuscitating the relationship with Washington, according to the presidency. Well, now's the time to do it. No time like the present. Okay, that didn't go well. What happened there? There we go. Oh, boy, this is now my software is failing me. Got a letter from attorneys. Why would you get a letter from attorneys? Attorneys have nothing to do with this. Presidency spokesperson Vincent Maguenya says that Ramaphosa is now focused on resetting the relationship between Pretoria and Washington. Follows the government's decision to expel former South African ambassador Ibrahim Rasool. Speaking on Newsroom Africa on the way forward, Maguenya said the focus is on fixing the relationship with the U.S. We're at a stage where we accept the U.S. has chosen to exercise its prerogative with respect to expelling the ambassador. We're not going to spend our energies conducting a post-mortem on the reasons and back and forth. Our focus is on how we move forward. And I would argue that that is a very good focus for the presidency of South Africa. That's a good approach. We deserve better, says State Department spokesperson Tammy Bruce. The reason why South Africa's ambassador to the U.S., Ibrahim Rasool, was expelled was because he launched a diplomatic attack on the U.S. that could not be overlooked. It's not about the criticism. This was the equation of the president of the country, equating them with white supremacy. It was an allegation that cast such an awful light on the nature of the country and individuals. He was expelled over the weekend. He has until Friday to be out of the country. He no longer has diplomatic credentials. They expired yesterday. The U.S. government, as a courtesy, extended them for 72 hours to give him time to settle matters with other diplomats in Washington and then get the hell out of Dodge by Friday this week. Save South Africa says that President Ramaphosa lacks the agility to deal with the souring relations. Civil rights movement Save South Africa has pointed fingers at President Ramaphosa, accusing him of the lack of agility required to intervene timelessly and save the deteriorating relationship between Pretoria and Washington. In the latest episode in a series of adverse developments targeting Pretoria, IOL has recently reported that South Africa's ambassador has been expelled from the United States. Ouch. And they say he's not up to the task. Not up to the task. As Save South Africa movement, it is our contention that this is a result of a lack of agility from the side of the president of South Africa to engage the government of the United States. You would remember the engagement between the two countries have been taking place through social media platforms. Well, that's not true. The United States has done executive order, and we've sent a diplomatic note. So we have done it officially. And yes, there was social media, but that's not the only place. Well, the renaming of Sandton Drive in Johannesburg is causing all kinds of ripples around the world. The Jewish Insider says the Johannesburg City Council votes to name U.S. Consulate Street after terrorist as councillor chants, "We want Hitler." Vote came a day before U.S. ejected South African ambassador who called Trump a white supremacist. Here's two own goals. Look at this. These people are protesting outside the American consulate. Why? Notice Discovery headquarters right there. Why? Why are they harassing the American consulate? She's known for her hijacking of a flight in 1969. Oh, stop that. I don't want that. Subscribe to your website. The U.S. will close the Joburg consulate if the street is renamed. This is a threat from Joel Pollack. Senior editor from website Breitbart warned of a very stern response from Washington if Sandton Drive is retitled Leila Khaled, after the first woman to hijack an aircraft. The purpose of renaming the street is an attempt to force the U.S. consulate to put a name of a Palestinian terrorist hijacker on the letterhead of the United States of America. That will never happen, and it's going to be met with very stern response. Yep, and Joel Pollack is right about that. Definitely right about that. Another own goal by South Africa's government. Not at the national level. This is at the local level, but still stupid. Absurd and undiplomatic. The nonsense coming from, there's a super chat coming in from Condo Brun. 70 Rand. Do you think the attitude of the ANC government will have an influence in the refugee program? Also, the threats to the embassy and assistance to rename. Well, yeah, I do. I think that all of this is simply confirming what Donald Trump believes to be true, and it's going to facilitate the refugee program, making it easier, in my view. Making it easier. Why did you give your email to attorneys, M? Why did you give email to attorneys? So what are you saying? Are you telling me that you gave your name to the South African Chamber of Commerce and they gave your name to an attorney? Without your consent, that could be a POPA violation. That could be one. Yep. I don't know why they would feel the need or the right to give your name to an attorney. Is that what happened? Or, I mean, where did you give your name out that somebody has your name? I mean, you're not just like in Afrikaner somewhere and you got a letter from a law firm. Is that what happened? Van says Joel Pollack has a way of saying things. I really enjoy how his brain gears run when he speaks of being diplomatic. All right. I guess you don't like how I speak. Absurd. You didn't give your name out to anybody? You didn't sign up with the South African Chamber of Commerce? Well, then where are these attorneys getting people's names from? Are they just cold calling you? Let me tell you this right now, ladies and gentlemen, for the 700 plus people watching this program right now, if you're receiving letters or emails or messages from attorneys in South Africa about the refugee program, you don't need them. You don't need an attorney. You do not need to spend money. You do not. Do not give people money. Do not consult attorneys for the refugee program. That will not give you an upper leg. That will not help you. We will not deal with attorneys. We don't go to the camps in Darfur, or not in Darfur, in Chad. We don't go to the camps in Uganda or the camps in Kenya to meet with refugees to speak to lawyers. No, we do it directly. There's no cost to being a refugee. No cost. Now, you have to pay for your flight. If you don't have the money, you get a no-interest loan for the International Organization of Migration, IOM, and that's repaid after you're settled in your destination. So you do not need an attorney. Let me make this abundantly clear. Do you need an attorney? No. Should you pay people to get on a list? No. Does this cost money? No. All right. Wow. Yes, scammers, fraudsters, hucksters, shysters. Yeah, stay away from them. Meanwhile, absurd and undiplomatic. Rasul's expulsion violates global conventions, say experts. Well, these are not very smart experts because they don't know what they're talking about. You need an attorney for your green card application. That's in America. You won't apply for a green card till you're in America. So, Arctic, yes, but it doesn't matter. That's later. You're not going to hire an attorney in South Africa when you're here and you fled from a country as a refugee. Good Lord. Come on, man. Yeah, they might just be trying their luck, but their luck is going to be no luck. I will be very unpopular, not just with the EFF, but with attorneys in South Africa because I'm taking business away from them because it's trumped up business. No pun intended. No pun intended. All right, Arctic, I didn't see later. Yeah, later, but you got to be clear. Later. Once you're in America, man, say that. Once you're in America, because people will hear later. But later, before I go, before I get to America, after I've been interviewed, dude, got to be very clear. We've seen that already. You know what it is. All right, so, yeah, these people are experts, not in my book. Okay. So, the abrupt expulsion of Ibrahim Rasool violated every provision of the Vienna Convention on Diplomatic Relations, according to international relations experts who spoke on News 24. On Friday night, U.S. Secretary of State Marco Rubio wrote that Rasool is no longer welcome on X. This was after it reported Rasool accused President Trump of supremacism. In the X post, he accused Rasool of being a race-baiting politician. He wrote, "We have nothing to discuss with him." Rasool is expected to return. Experts believe the U.S. government acted in bad faith in how they ejected the ambassador. Patrick Kadima of the Wits Business School said all the actions taken by U.S. politicians violated the Vienna Convention on Diplomatic Relations. It is one of the oldest treaties, which came into effect in 1961. This essentially means you're no longer welcome in a certain country. This measure can be imposed not only on diplomats, but also on individuals. There's a process that must be followed. Unfortunately, the American government did not follow that process and announced expulsion on Twitter before saying a note verbal. Actually, no, that's not true. Not true. They contacted South African Embassy and they didn't respond in a timely fashion. They eventually sent someone there. They did follow diplomatic protocol. And oh, by the way, stop whining about social media. Barack Hussein Obama broke the bank. Nobody even knew what Twitter was till he's like, I'm on Twitter when he ran for office in 2008. Oh, and suddenly everybody cared about Twitter. Nobody cared. He's the one that used it first for these reasons and announced things on it. So if you are stuck in the world that a note verbal or a diplomatic note is the only thing that you can do, you are stuck in the 1940s. You need to wake up and grow up with the rest of the world. So there is no violation of the Vienna Conventions here, none whatsoever. It aims to facilitate development of friendly relations. Of course it does. The Vienna Convention is a cornerstone of modern international relations, international law, and is almost universally ratified and observed. True. So the U.S. actions are highly undiplomatic and not an established practice or custom. We delivered a diplomatic note. We showed you that. It's here. And so this is just a lie by a person who's seeking attention in academia. We did deliver this note. So stop lying to the world. We've shown the note to the world. These people just, it's unbelievable what they come up with here. Where the hell's the note? I've got so many things I've downloaded. Here it is. There it is. There's the note. All right, here's the diplomatic note on State Department. You can see the watermark on there. Diplomatic note. This is what we do. I worked in embassies all of it. Has this guy worked in embassies? He's working in the business school. What the hell does a business school have to do with international relations? I actually have a degree in international relations. I've actually done international relations. I've actually done strategic relations at the highest level of U.S. government international organizations, including the United Nations, the African Union, the European Union, NATO, yes, and the President of the United States, among others. This guy, okay. So here we go. Whoops, that's not it. We want this one. The Department of State, in accordance with Article 9 of the Vienna Convention on Diplomatic Relations, wishes to inform the Embassy of the Republic of South Africa that Ambassador Ibrahim Rasool is declared persona non grata. The Department of State will no longer recognize Ambassador Rasool as a member of a mission as of Monday, March 17th, at which point his privileges and immunities will cease. He and his dependent are required to depart the United States no later than March 21st. Further, Ambassador Rasool is considered unacceptable for future accreditation as a member of the South African mission to the United States. Ambassador Rasool's recent comments regarding the President of the United States were deeply offensive and making it impossible for the United States to continue engaging with the ambassador. Department of State, Washington, March 14th, 2025. Initials are AJ. So, there you go, folks. There you go. It was done correctly. So these so-called experts are not expert at anything other than misleading people. Sipandi Zondas at the University of Johannesburg said the government should have called him in and spoken tough to him behind closed doors. Now that's happened, South Africa needs to understand from him and the embassy who can be spoken to logically within the U.S. They must also check whether it's viable to send the envoy that they have been talking about. South Africa needs to think carefully about the response to not trigger any further decline. Well, Sipa Mandla Zondi from the University of Joburg, no. They did summon him. He didn't come. He sent his deputy chief of mission because the timeline given was too short. He was in Annapolis. South African Broadcasting Corporation reported on this accurately and gave a good analysis of it. He was in Annapolis, and with the traffic, he looked on his phone. He couldn't make it back in time, so he sent his deputy chief of mission. They went there. They received the diplomatic note. Case closed. There's no discussion here. This man called Donald Trump the leader of a global white supremacy movement. How could you possibly deal with someone that has that kind of bigotry and racism? And he called Americans racist. No, foot sec. Fuck off. This is nonsense. What kind of bullshit is that? He's an ambassador. Look, he isn't a journalist. He isn't a television commentator. He isn't a member of the public. He isn't someone who was denied a visa. He isn't someone whose business deal was scuppered. He is the ambassador. He's supposed to represent the president of South Africa to the people of America. He's supposed to facilitate relations, not run around and do Zoom calls calling the president the leader of a global white supremacist movement, which is total horseshit. Anybody give him a stern talking to? No, you give him a PK upside the head. Blix him, man. More of this guy. This is nonsense. What kind of horse shit is this? Give him a stern talking to. Good God. Good Lord. Give me a freaking break. Seriously. Well, you should have been given a tough talking to. Tough talking to? The dude was treated very fairly after the egregious conduct. Again, Ambassador Ibrahim Rasool is welcome to say this. When he made his offensive tweets against Donald Trump in the past, he was a member of the public. Nikos Potomanos, thank you for your subscription. When he did this in previous years, when he put a picture of Hitler up, claiming that Trump was a Hitler because he had a Bible in his hand, when he put a picture up and saying that you should bleach impeachment for Trump to get rid of him, that was when he was in his personal capacity. He was a retired ambassador. It was not a good look for an ambassador to say that, but that's his prerogative. The shocking thing is that the ANC would bother to bring him back, knowing his animosity towards Trump. It was just a matter of time. This guy set a record for the shortest tenure as ambassador. And this guy here, Sipand Mandla Zondi from the University of Johannesburg, do you know anything about diplomacy? Think carefully about who the U.S. sends over there. For what? That's a threat. That's a threat. So you're going to retaliate against the person we designate to be the ambassador because of the behavior of Ibrahim Rasool? Grow up. See, this is the stupidity that simply raises this. Meanwhile, nothing's been done in South Africa. No eviction from AGOA, even though you're not legally in it. no tariffs, no gray listing from us. You're gray listed by the National Financial Task Force, but not by us. No embargo. Look, nothing. So stop it. They're emailing the embassy because I said, well, these other people are doing it. So if you want to do it, do it. That's your prerogative. I'm not going to sit here and tell people not to do it anymore. I can't get the U.S. government to respond. So, it's you make decisions for yourself. But yeah, I probably wouldn't send email. Parliament's up in arms over the VAT increase. Now, I talked about this with Anthem, and he was unaware of it because the media has been covering this story up. I reported on days ago that, in fact, according to the law, according to a media report and legal experts, it doesn't matter what budget's approved. The 0.5% increase in VAT is in unless Parliament specifically writes a law that excludes it, because apparently it just takes a minister to say this. That's crazy. Crazy. Yeah, keep in mind that Ursula is a veteran diplomat. He knew exactly what he's doing when he attended the podcast. His words were intentional. At the very least, they should have happened. Yeah, this is the minimum sanction he should have got. He probably had his bags packed already before he went to that meeting. Bet he told his wife, do all your shopping now because we're leaving soon. He knew it. A legal opinion suggests there may be some hope of reversal later in the year. But right now, there's no hope that the 0.5% increase will go away. It's going to be imposed on May 1st. Wow. The coming into operation of the increase in the rate of VAT on May 1st is supported by Section 7.4 of the VAT Act. To undo the operation of that provision, it will be necessary to introduce a bill that abolishes or reduces. God bless it. Why is this not letting me do this? There we go. That's what I want right there. I don't want all that text. I just want that. Anyway, yeah. So the VAT tax is a done deal, folks. It's a done deal. What was that? Let me see what that was. Oh, subscription. Thank you for your subscription. All right, so back to where I was. Sorry, folks, got distracted there. Department of Home Affairs is stressed. Service unbelievably slow. 24 calls later, over a few weeks, and no avail. No one answers phone. Well, some people had different experiences, so some people had different experiences. Democratic Alliance is complaining about the public protector to them over Schwane security tender, accusing corruption here and nepotism. Triotic Protection Services, company with alleged ties to the city of Schwane's deputy executive mayor, Eugene Modisi, is facing an investigation from public protector for securing a multi-million rand tender with the Metro, despite questionable tax compliance status. Well, the fact that it's ties to the deputy mayor ought to be enough to invalidate anything here. That's pure nepotism. What's going on? Well, South Africa has regulated cannabis. Yeah, that's right, folks. What did Marna say? My concern goes to the refugee program numbers, wishing refugee status is used as collateral damage for foreign affairs. Well, but you have no control over Marius. You can have a concern, but your concern isn't going to change it. If that's the case, that's the case. Are you implying that there'll be no refugee resettlement program? I find from a credibility standpoint that that's highly unlikely. What may be possible might be a very prescribed program that limits the number of people who can come over. That's a very real possibility. So, but I don't worry about collateral damage. You're already collateral damage. I mean, you have to accept that. If you're interested in the refugee program, you're already collateral damage. Regardless of whether you come to States or not, you're collateral damage. You're being attacked in public. Your kids are being attacked in school. You're being attacked by racists online. Threats are being made. You're already collateral damage, whether you want to be or not. So, I mean, I think that's a fait accompli. You know, it's not really anything that's going to change. Nothing that's going to change there. A lot going on in the chat over here. On what channel would Neil Diamond talk? Yes, he's on Newsroom Africa. Newsroom Africa, Martin. Watch my video, man. Watch my video, for God's sake. It's not hard to do, man. Jacques Vint, 350 Rand. Theoretically, if so many Afrikaners want to leave and Southern ANC stops them by force, what would America do in such a case? As some politicians say, we will leave in coffins. Really? Well, those people should be arrested for terroristic threats. That's a terroristic threat. I'm not going to speculate on that, Jacques. I mean, I appreciate 350 Rand super chat, but I'm not going to speculate on that. People are just trying to get clips here to use against people, so I have no speculation there. No, I mean, if South Africa prevents people from leaving the country as refugees, well, then they've crossed the Rubicon. And we'll just leave it at that. They've crossed the Rubicon. If you know what that means. Would Russell have known the ANC names the USA is watching? Thus, he went off. What? What names? What are you talking about, Henry? I don't understand. What names are you talking about? Ramona, I've answered this question that Jacques has asked many, many times, but I've answered it in the same way I've just answered it. So, the recent blanket ban on cannabis and hemp products and foodstuffs has sparked controversy among cannabis aficionados. The Health Department gazetted the decision on March 7th, banning the importation, manufacture, and sale of any food products containing cannabis or its derivatives. Bummer! You weed people are going to be bummed out. You're going to be so bummed out. South Africa is in a bit of a sticky wicket courtesy of the sanctions on Russia because they work with the Russians. Expanded U.S. curbs on Gazprom Bank Africa could affect its ability to fund a feasibility study, and it's costing the government tons of money. The refinery has been run on a care and maintenance basis since 2020 due to the lack of feedstock and cost the technically insolvent state-owned company hundreds of millions of rand each year to maintain it. Try to find outside investors, but nobody's interested because South Africa is not a good bet for foreign direct investment. Yep. Well, the Hawks close in on those who assassinated Lieutenant Colonel Pretorius. Look at these fine young gentlemen. 4 suspects arrested in connection with the murder of Lieutenant Colonel Pete Pretorius. Police arrested former suspects in Ermelo in Mpumalanga for the murder of Lieutenant Colonel Pete Pretorius, bringing the total to 10 in the accused in the high-profile police assassination. Pretorius of the Ermelo Vehicle Identification Unit was shot multiple times while driving a state vehicle in the town on January 16th. Their arrests marked a significant progress in the high-profile case. The latest arrests include Vusi Shabalala, Njabulo Zwane, Percy Siabonga Duba, and Prenethia Samara Duba. They face charge of conspiracy to commit murder, possession of unlicensed firearms and ammunition, and defeating the ends of justice. Well, gee, surprise, surprise. Look at those 4 fine, upstanding young men. Middlepos, Saldanha Bay, folks. By-election tomorrow. All right? Multiple parties are interested. And look, it's Tani Pat, folks. It's Tani Pat. Yay! I should do a theme song for Tani Pat. It's Tani Pat. She's here to join your party. Next week, she'll leave your party and start her own party. Tani Pat. Hey, let's go to the Cape Flats with Tani Pat. Tani Pat, thousands of voters in Middlepos and Saldanha Bay are set to cast their ballots Wednesday as the highly anticipated by-elections are expected to take place. And the candidates include Siabulelo Mafenuka from the ANC, Geraldine Cordom from the Democratic Alliance, Feziwa Ksuma from the Economic Freedom Fighters, Veronique Lizel Pretorius from the Good Party, and Mussalina Noxeba Matayamba from the Patriotic Alliance. Zedra Rosetta Abrahams from the People's Movement for Change, and Petros Mole from the Truth and Solidarity Movement, as well as Zwandile Simon Biko from Mkonto Wisizwe. Well, that's a mouthful. There's a lot of folks there contesting for that by-election. And Tani Pat's on the ground trying to drum up support for the Good Party. No one helped him. Young man stabbed to death, stabbed in the back at a rugby match. A rugby match in Langabang ended in tragedy when a spectator was stabbed to death. The Western Cape rugby teams Langabang and St. Helena Bay were playing Saturday, March 15, when the incident occurred. Tributes have been pouring on social media after the victim was identified as Ryan Don Samuels, 18, from Vredenburg. His eldest sister, Berenique Diegart, said the last time she spoke to him, he asked for prayers. My mother and I called him on Saturday. He told us he was in visiting our brother, who was a police officer. He said he needed prayers because the Langabang community was not welcoming to outsiders. Next call we got from Langabang was our cousin, also an officer, told us Ryan had been stabbed and was lying on the field alone. He'd gone to visit her brother for the weekend, and while his brother was working a day shift, he decided to watch the rugby match. I called my brother, and he said he would turn around. When he arrived, Ryan was lying in his blood. There were so many people in that stadium, yet he was alone. No one helped him. No one sat with him in his darkest hour. The distraught sister explained that when the brother arrived on the scene, he tried to wake Ryan, but it was too late. All the stab wounds were from behind. Ryan fell, and then the suspect sat on him and stabbed him again. He intended to kill. There wasn't a fight. He didn't argue with anyone or even know anyone there. The suspect was just looking for a fight. I was informed that Ryan kept asking, "What did I do? Why are you stabbing me?" Because he was attacked. He was just talking to someone. Unbelievable. No words ease the pain of losing someone so young, but please know that you are in the thoughts and prayers, said St. Helena Rugby Club. Declared dead at the scene. 28-year-old male was arrested in connection with murder and will appear in court once charged. This young man's life taken. Why? 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 For what? Stabbed in the back, literally. Not figuratively, stabbed in the back. Rwanda and Belgium are at each other's throats, expelling diplomats. Sound familiar? Belgium and Rwanda announced expulsion of each other's diplomats as relations deteriorated over allegations of their respective roles in the conflict in eastern DRC. Kigali said it was severing diplomatic relations, giving Belgian diplomats 48 hours to leave, accusing Brussels of using lies and manipulation to secure an unjustified hostile opinion of Rwanda. Belgium's Foreign Affairs Minister, Maxime Poirot, said the move was disproportionate and shows that when we disagree with Rwanda, they prefer not to engage in dialogue. So Brussels will reciprocate by declaring Rwanda diplomats persona non grata. There's a lot of persona non grata going around, folks. A lot of persona non grata going around. Wow. Kenya and the International Monetary Fund draw up a new plan to help Kenya. East African countries battling to get its economy back on track after it borrowed tons of money. They'll discuss a new lending program and abandon the current one as the country struggles to get its economy back on track following a borrowing spree, like so many African countries looking for debt relief. Ethiopia and Eritrea are at each other's throats again, according to Tigrayan officials. Longtime foes Ethiopia and Eritrea could be headed towards war. Officials in the rest of Ethiopian region at the center of the tensions have warned. Wow. Be another crisis in Ethiopia. The latest one. Gregor Townsend is on the hot seat after another lackluster Six Nations performance by Scotland. Another Six Nations ends, another disappointing finish for Scotland. Here, former Scotland captains Andy Nicklin and Jason White give their take. Well, their take is that Gregor Townsend is on the hot seat, and he's being pushed by none other than South African Franco Smith, who's doing great work with Glasgow Warriors and therefore getting attention as a potential Scotland head coach. Franco Smith. Smith, not Smith, excuse me. Russia. Has Russia turned its back on South Africa? Are they really upset over the land issue? Wow. Well, this is what Lavrov had to say.
And who basically, whatever international issue they discuss, they start with human rights. Iran, Venezuela, Cuba, of course, Nicaragua, South Africa now violated human rights by passing a law on land. Central Asia, whenever there are several.
South Africa violated human rights. This is Russia. This is their benefactor. Wow. Wow. That, of course, that might just be in support of MK. Who knows? Who knows? Higher defense spending will be boosting the economy of Europe. So the warmongers are using the military-industrial complex to get their turgid, moribund economies out of the crapper, ladies and gentlemen. European Central Bank policymaker says expected increases in investment are likely to support GDP growth over the medium term. Eurozone economic growth is already taking a hit from the Trump administration's trade war, but the expected surge in defense spending could prop up growth. Eurozone economy has been broadly stagnant for the past 2 years, and there's a growing body of evidence that fears over a full-blown trade war could push it into recession. Yeah, well, they need a war to keep their economy going. Now you know why Ukraine gets all the support from the Europeans, because they need a military-industrial complex. Well, the draft list of countries, which I mentioned previously, on the list for travel bans from the United States. A draft circulating inside the administration lists 3 tiers of countries whose citizens may face restrictions on entering the United States. So, here's the list. Afghanistan, Bhutan, Cuba, Iran, Libya, North Korea, Somalia, Sudan, Syria, Venezuela, and Yemen all travel ban. Visas sharply restricted for Belarus, Eritrea, Haiti, Laos, Myanmar, Pakistan, Russia, Sierra Leone, South Sudan, and Turkmenistan. Yellow, they have 60 days in order to comply with requirements from the United States. Angola, Antigua, Benin, Burkina Faso, Cambodia, Cameroon, Cape Verde, Chad, Republic of Congo, Democratic Republic of Congo, Dominica, Equatorial Guinea, Gambia, Liberia, Malawi, Mali, Mauritania, St. Kitts, St. Lucia, Sao Tome, Vanuatu, and Zimbabwe. Notice that South Africa is not on that list. Not on that list. Again, South Africa not being punished. But of course, we'll hear how they're being punished and how the response from America is disproportionate. Well, that travel ban includes 22 African countries. Ouch. And South Africa is not one of them. Not one of them. There's a message to South Africa. Take the win. Meanwhile, Caribbean countries like, what are we doing on the list? Well, these are countries of convenience which offer high net worth individuals citizenship. And let me explain why this is an issue. 4 Caribbean nations find themselves caught in diplomatic uncertainty following reports from the Trump administration may impose travel restrictions. None of the affected governments have received official communication. Government of St. Lucia has confirmed it's received no formal communication. This ban included 8 countries that operate CBI programs. Well, the CBI program is a way for people to get high net worth individuals to get in to their country. So let me explain to you why this is important. Several years ago, when I was working in Africa, I cautioned the State Department, I warned the U.S. government that some countries were taking advantage of buying passports to get people on a terror watch list or government officials from banned countries into America. And the case I gave was Comoros. Comoros was selling passports to Iranians, giving them citizenship. They bought it essentially, and getting a Comoros passport. And with the Comoros passport, we're entering Western Europe and the United States, including Iranian government officials on a terror watch list. That's why we can't trust countries like Comoros and a bunch of other countries, because they don't comply with the international standards for passports, for biometrics, and sharing of criminal databases. We threatened Nigeria with this and put them on the list years ago. And of course, America was called a racist nation by none other than Nancy Pelosi, falsely claiming that 375 million people of color were denied access to America because they were Muslims. Well, a small fraction of those people were Muslims, and nobody was banned on no basis. It was stupid. Anyway, I covered that story many times. I can go into it now. Yale professors warn international students, get back into America before Trump banned you. Yep. Do travel bans apply to citizens or diplomats? Both. Yale professors warn, if you're asking if we put a travel ban on a country, can their diplomats come? Yes. But can a travel ban be applied to an individual or to a diplomat? Yes, a private citizen and a diplomat can both get travel bans. Yep. PNG is for anybody. Botswana kicked out a professor from Arizona who used to say things about the government they didn't like, so they banned him. He used to teach at the University of Botswana. Was it Kenneth Good or something like that was his name? He used to talk about the government of Botswana's treatment of the Basarwa, the Bushmen. And since he taught at the university and was poisoning the minds of the next generation of potential Botswana leaders, they deported him as PNG. And all he did was expose what they were doing. It's unfortunate. So, email from law school professors urges students from targeted countries to consider returning to the U.S. In email on Sunday night, Yale law professors Munir Ahmed and Michael Wishney warned students from potentially affected countries, you better get back before you get banned. Yeah. Canada, once again, considering dropping its contractual obligations, which it signed up for, to purchase the F-35 Joint Strike Fighter. Canada's questioned the purchase of Lockheed's F-35, adding to recent turmoil where Canada will turn for the jet fighters it needs. Isn't an easy question to answer. No, because there isn't anything that's equivalent out there. The F-35 is the most advanced, survivable, and connected fighter aircraft in the world, enabling 21st century security and allied deterrence. Yep. So here are the fighter jets in service. The U.S. Air Force and Navy have 2,000. Turkey, Germany, France, just a fraction. European and Canadian defense suppliers make a lot of the parts for the aircraft. Typhoon, the Rafale, and Gripen, those are 3 different ones produced in Europe, none of which meets the needs of the Canadian Air Force. But hey, go ahead and cut your nose off, spite your face. The Department of Defense deploys a destroyer to join the Joint Border Security Mission. U.S. Northern Command deployed the Arleigh Burke-class guided missile destroyer USS Gravely to Northcom's area of operations on March 15th to assist with border security operations. USS Gravely departed from Naval Weapons Station Yorktown for a scheduled deployment to the Gulf of America, Pentagon Chief Spokesman Sean Parnell told the media. It's not only vital for the United States to have control of our border via land, it's equally important to control our territorial waters. Well, there you go, folks. Wow. Gulf of America. Now, this is a little bit disturbing here, folks. You don't whitewash history out, and I don't know how this happened, and it needs to be reversed, needs to be dealt with. So, according to a Washington Post report, amid the DEI purge, which needs to be purged, Pentagon removes a webpage on the Iwo Jima flag raiser. Now, that's not good. Pages celebrating Navajo code talkers and other minority service members were also erased. Until recently, a page on the Department of Defense's website celebrated PFC Ira Hayes, a Pima Indian who was one of the 6 Marines photographed hoisting the U.S. flag on Iwo Jima in 1945, as an emblem of the contributions and sacrifices Native Americans have made to the United States, not just the military, but in all walks of life. But the page, along with many others about Native Americans and other minority service members, has now been erased amid the wide-ranging crackdown on what it says are diversity, equity, and inclusion efforts. Multiple articles about the Navajo code talkers who were critical of America's victory at Iwo Jima were also removed, along with a profile of Tonawanda Seneca officer who drafted the terms of Confederacy surrendered at Appomattox. So that's unfortunate. That should not be happening. Army websites scrub articles on Navajo code talkers citing Trump DEI policies. That's not sufficient reason to scrub them. It's unbelievable, said Zondi Gorman, daughter of the late Navajo code talker Carl Gorman, who was one of the original 29 Navajo code talkers. Indigenous people, we are so invisible in the United States to begin with. It's such a massive step backward to dishonor these men, the Navajo code talkers. Thank you, LJ DeCulk, for your membership. The Navajo code talkers and World War II and code talkers that served another branch of service to dishonor their service to the United States is unconscionable. Over the weekend, Arlington National Cemetery reportedly scrubbed its website of various pages on grave sites and classroom lessons that highlighted the work of Black, Hispanic, and female service members. So, again, I have an issue if we're hiding history. That's not acceptable. But if you're promoting them over everything else, to the exclusion of everything else, then that's wrong. So there you go. U.S. measles outbreak, a disease that was declared wiped out, eradicated in America. And look at this. Illegal immigrants coming in, bringing this stuff in, and people refusing to get vaccinations have fueled a measles outbreak in America. The Pan American Health Organization declared the disease eliminated in 2000 thanks to widespread vaccination efforts by the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention. But it's still an issue globally. And now it's an issue in America with 300 confirmed cases in West Texas and New Mexico. More than the total number of cases reported in all of 2024. This measles outbreak is not good, folks. This is what happens when you leave your borders undefended. Deported Brown University professor had sympathetic photos of Hezbollah leaders on her phone. Federal authorities say they deported a Lebanese doctor holding an American visa last week after finding sympathetic photos and videos of prominent Hezbollah figures in a deleted items folder on her phone. Well, she had them, and she deleted them because she knew she was wrong. Suspected pirates apparently hijacked a Yemeni fishing boat off the coast of Somalia, according to European Union naval forces. Suspected Somali pirates have hijacked a Yemeni flag fishing boat off the semi-autonomous Puntland region, according to the EU's anti-piracy naval force. 7 pirates boarded the vessel, which was carrying 8 Somali crew members. Incidents under investigation is considered to be a hijack. U.S. border officials are purportedly targeting senior green card holders, Indians in particular. But here's the problem. These Indians are staying outside the United States for more than 180 days. Under Immigration and Nationality Act, the act that I keep talking about for the refugee program, a lawful permanent resident, a green card holder, who is absent from the U.S. for over 180 days is treated as seeking readmission and subject to grounds of inadmissibility. If you leave the country for 180 days, you can be denied reentry because you've abandoned America. So you have to keep your green card active by being in America. And it's not a very stringent requirement. I mean, you only have to be back, within the 180 days. That's not much to ask for. All right, 659 people still here, 624 likes, a little bit of super chat revenue coming in, over 3,000 views. All right, let's take a look at what people are saying in the chat. That's news for today, folks. Let me go back a little ways in the chat and see what I can get here. Reg Doss says, I asked the question, why the USA has not done anything yet? How much more must they mess up before all hell breaks loose? Well, what exactly do you want the USA to do, Reg Dot? Invade South Africa? What are you asking for? Or are you talking about the refugee resettlement program? These things take time, and yet it's been 40 days. 40 days. You've been dealing with the ANC for 30 years, and you expect the U.S. government to act within 40 days? You got to be more patient than that. Joel Pollack acting already as if he's already the U.S. ambassador. Yeah, he does that. Speaks like he's talking for the White House. And that's a lot of supposition on the part of people. No name has been submitted for a nomination for an ambassador to South Africa. And Joel Pollack may very well be the front runner, but he's not the ambassador designate. And some people have been calling him that. That's simply not true. Yeah, so we'll see. Surprised to say he's not on that list. Yeah, exactly. Exactly. They're not on the list. Offer us visas, whoever has the cash to leave. Well, that wouldn't be fair that people don't have cash. What's this? What did Ravani say? Joel Pollack said in business, there's a high likelihood South Africa will be removed from AGOA. Well, Ravani, there's a high likelihood that AGOA will expire and not be renewed. That's even higher than what he's saying. Joe Pollack is only speculating. Correct. Nina says, having no family of my own, no sense going to the U.S. just to live isolated and lonely life there. At least there, sunny South Africa, I'm surrounded by familiar faces and places and can speak my mother tongue. Well, that's true, Nina. That's your prerogative. Great for you staying in South Africa. Anything goes. All social media services to South African American companies need to be disconnected from government officials. Yeah, well, that's not going to happen. Just to clarify, did you say to send inquiry? Or wait, just making sure. Stephen, I said that apparently they are taking them. I cannot. You have to make your own decision. When people sent me that email, I had people look at it, or IT experts. They confirmed it appeared to be legitimate from the American Embassy. I made the same conclusion. However, I remain concerned that they want you to send your personally identified information email. We don't do that in America. So for them to ask you to do that is highly irresponsible on my part. It doesn't mean they didn't do it, but why would you send personally identifiable information in unencrypted email to the State Department? If they've offered you an appointment, then they should expect to collect that information from you when you come in. So my position has been, until I can confirm that, I'm a little leery of it. However, multiple people have said they have appointments. They're getting these messages from the embassy. We've confirmed that they're actual real messages. So it's up to you to make the decision. What I'm saying now is, now that we know that the South African Chamber of Commerce has apparently taken the list of all the people who contact them and given it to the embassy, well, that's 67,000 names. I don't know how the embassy is dealing with that, if they are dealing with it, since they're not answering the question. Some people have already sent emails to the embassy through that address. If you want to send them an email, that's up to you. I mean, there's nothing wrong with sending email to that address. That's a legitimate address from the State Department. If you want to send an email and show your interest, then there's nothing ventured, nothing gained, is what I'm saying at this point. What I am saying is that I can't attest to that. I would, if I got an email from the embassy that said they want my PII, I would call them, and you probably won't get through. So I would send them an email saying, why do you need this personally identifiable information? I will come to the appointment, but why do you want me to send us an email, unencrypted? That's what I'd say. You want me to send my PII in an unencrypted email to the embassy? I mean, that seems very dangerous. Anyway, that's what I'm saying. Does that answer your question? Colonel would be the perfect ambassador for the new state we shall create. Okay. Nope, Joel is reported and only reporting the news. If he thought he was selected, he would pull back his views. No, I disagree with that. I disagree with that entirely, PK. No. Joel Pollack is throwing, Joel Pollack, what was Joel Pollack saying about South Africa before Trump became president? Nothing! How much reporting is Joel Pollack doing in November about South Africa? Nothing! Now every day it's something on net. Now I'm not criticizing, but Trump came back in office and he sees a window and he wants to be the ambassador. And good on him. But I don't want to hear this, he's going to hold, he's holding back, no. Joel Pollack is auditioning for the job of ambassador. That's what he's doing. And that's his prerogative. There's nothing wrong with that. But let's be honest, that's what he's doing. Or are they saying something special? I don't know if they're saying something special. Military baby. My father was 36 in the Signals Brigade. My dad now face. Why did your father face the TRC if he was in the Signals unit? I don't understand that. What happened there, Barry? Canada is a mess. Caribbean countries tend to offer passport for around 100,000. Then people use that to get into countries that offer visa-free travel. Exactly, and that's why we've got them on the list, Jay. Yeah, spot on. AGOA is toast. I think ultimately it probably will be. Former News 24 editor wants EU refugees to come to South Africa. I saw that. Friends scattered all over, just sad about so many elderly parents and grandparents that will stay behind broken and separated families. Well, you blame that on the ANC. Loretta, Chris, I've sent email to embassy and only got an auto reply. Yeah, no, Loretta. That's what I would expect. And so there's no harm, no foul there other than your email address is there. So if you have a pseudonym email address, then okay. So that's not what I'm talking about. That you can do that. That's your choice. So they've got your name in case they start making a list from the embassy and people to contact who've expressed an interest. What I'm talking about is a number of people have reported that they've received an email from embassy, and these emails have been forwarded to me, and I've looked at them. And a couple of IT experts who volunteered to look at it have also looked at it. That's very different. This is saying you have an appointment on March 26th. You have an appointment on March 28th at 10 o'clock, at 1 o'clock at the embassy in Hatfield. That seemed very suspicious to me. So anyway, I would follow up if I received something like that. Famous Nigerian YouTuber openly discusses this route, but he's a travel YouTuber, so it makes sense for those purposes. Yeah, he's not trying to become an economic migrant. It's R72. It's a Blackbird, not the Black Star, the Blackbird. Ernst Cuthbert, hey, man. This is why I'm saving people from freaking out. Chill. The USA has done nothing in South Africa. We are okay. USA has not made decisions. Exactly. Nothing's happened. Really, gripping is good, cheap to buy, maintain, but it's not like, it's not in the same league as the F-35. But it's good for South Africa, Botswana, Angola, great aircraft for them, but not for NATO countries. Donnie Pooter, he may have said he's not speaking for the administration, but he's auditioning for the job. That's what Ronell was trying to tell you. You guys keep beating up on her. No, he's auditioning for the job. And if you think he's not auditioning, then show me all the coverage that Breitbart was doing in South Africa over the past year. I'll bet we could wrap it all up in 1 minute, less than 1 minute. Okay? Whereas I've been doing coverage of South Africa every single day. So there's a big difference there. All right. Okay. What's just wrong, Loretta? Gulf of Medica. 14-year-old father hasn't had contact with him 12 years, doesn't want to sign papers for immigration unless they give him money. Well, Angelique Stone, unfortunately, because of the law, it's going to mean you can't go or you leave your kid behind, which I doubt you're willing to do. So if he's going to be an asshat and not let your son go and put your son's life in jeopardy in his future, then not much we can do about it. You have to have the parents' consent in order to take a child out of the country. That's just the way it works. South African law. Yep, they won't let you get out of the port without that consent. Anyone notice the shift in white South African mindset? Simple thing like America recognized us made us stand up for ourselves again. Yeah, a lot are, Jacques. A lot are standing up for themselves. About time. Okay. I'm sorry to tell you that, Angelique, but that's just the way it is, man. I mean, it's a problem, folks. I mean, it's, after the fact, it's easy to say this, but I mean, who you decide to knock boots with and slip a ring on, you better make sure it's the right thing, because if you grow apart and you divorce and people are spiteful, they can do this crap to you. They can hold your kids hostage. They can hold you hostage with that. So, Angelique, I'm sorry to tell you that, but I guarantee you that you have to have the approval of that parent in order to get that kid out of the country. Have people gotten bookings from embassy already? Yes, Chris Wyatt, the second. Yes, people claim to. I've been forwarded several emails from people who say that this is from the embassy, and we looked at it and it appears to be legitimate. Armed forces should not put the sacrifice of Native Americans above others and should not erase history. Right, Peter O'Connor, that's right. Both statements you just made are true, and that's why I need to know more about this situation. It's probably a leftist attack on the Trump administration, and maybe there's merit to it. I just don't know. We'll have to check into it. Luckily, we are vaccinated at birth for measles. Yep, there you go. It shouldn't affect refugee status, but airports, companies, South Africa will stop you from leaving the country without a signed letter from the father. That's Arctic, you said it more succinctly than I did. Well done. So, all right. I saw the NCA piece on Arclor jobs. Yeah, no, I reported that weeks ago. They're just now getting around to it. Not signing up as a refugee. If I was much younger, would have considered. Also a bit concerned about hidden costs. What hidden cost, Nina? There's no hidden cost. Explain. Okay, look, I mean, I respect your decision not to go anywhere, and I wouldn't encourage you to leave, but I'm curious, what hidden cost? There's no hidden cost. I've told you what the cost is. You have to pay for your flight. If you don't have the money, then you get an interest-free loan. And 6 months after you get it, you have to start paying it back. If you can't pay it back then you can ask for a delay or forgiveness, and they'll usually accommodate that. So what hidden cost? The hidden cost is for me. I'm paying for you to come here. It costs me money. $2.7 billion per year we pay for you to come here and get resettled. Not to mention you take jobs from Americans. You take Social Security payments. You never paid into the system. It comes out of our pockets. A lot of upside for refugees, a lot of cost for Americans. We bear the cost. So I'm not sure what hidden costs you're talking about there, Nina. Please elaborate on that, because I'm very curious why you think they're a hidden cost. Unless you're talking about non-monetary cost, like, away from your family, something like that, which is true. Loss of your culture, true. Oh, I'm not the only one. I see Arctic's asking what hidden cost. I think I need to have a chat with my ex-husband to sign for a future for our kids. They might care, but I stay with him. Yeah, Zandrea, I mean, if you're gonna do that, if he isn't gonna go, then you need to have that conversation at some point, or you're not gonna go anywhere. Yeah, unabridged birthday certificate for his children. Wow, I'm always yawning now because I'm always tired because I'm working so damn hard. Hammer is obsessed with black people. I haven't seen one person mention black people in this chat. What are you talking about there, Hammer? Are you a troll? I haven't seen one person. Oh, you are a troll, and you've been gone. Yeah, nobody's obsessed with black people. Just hate wankers like you. I haven't seen one person mention race in here the entire time. Just hateful trolls like you pop in here. LSR, I've missed it, but your opinion, will the U.S. government make an announcement, or should we register? I just answered that question literally 5 minutes ago. Come on, man. And you wrote this at 1:31. So you must have just heard what I said. Okay. You can get the family court involved. Magistrate will do it to the child's best interest. Well, that's true. But getting on the docket for family court, getting a judgment, that can take time. Going on 700 likes. Let's make it happen, folks. Sorry for typing my question twice, but I'm curious. Does the incumbent ambassador stay in situ? No. For political appointees, I've mentioned this many, many times, even before this current whole thing with refugee status, a political appointee traditionally tenders their resignation before the new president comes on board, or the moment the new president comes on board. So Ruben Brigitte is a political appointee. He's not there. He left in January or December. I think he left in December. So Ruben Brigitte resigned, which is the norm after Trump won the election, because he's not going to be the ambassador. And then the deputy chief of mission was appointed as a charge d'affaires. She also announced her retirement in January, and she's gone. So we're down to the third stringer right now. But yeah, that's just the norm. That's what happens. Ambassadors now. Permanent ambassadors, career ambassadors, State Department employees, they don't tender the resignation because they're employees of the Department of State. But they can and will be replaced when new presidents come in. You can probably exchange your rands in America. You can, but it's not the easiest thing. I mean, you can also get rand here, so you can change them, yeah. But it's not like South Africa, you can just find a money changer everywhere. I go to the bank, so I don't get the best rate, but I can get the money here, so. Neil Diamond is on DSTV. Thank you for chasing all my viewers away, Andrea. Must be a right-wing podcast, yep. My daughter lives with me and my ex is in Australia. Got court orders so I can take my daughter in and out of the country without fight. Well, there you go. Heather, you're set. You're set. That should be enough. Although in and out of the country, vice immigrating, or, refugee status, I don't know, but it should be. Once we get there, I guess we will pay it back, though we owe our own tax contribution. Well, hopefully, yes. Thank you for your subscription. Yeah, if there's no program launched, why are people counting every time Dick and Harry for an interview with the embassy to what? Smile at the camera? So over people causing confusion. Yeah, I hear you. By Kruger. Getting a passport for minor children is the first obstacle single parents face. Both have to be present with an application unless one has passed on. I didn't know you had to be present. That's a stupid rule. Oh, you like that, Tomahawk? That's my phrase. I invented hate wanker. Ronaldo tried to take credit for it, but I invented it on his program. I call people hate wanker. It's more like 500,000. Probably applied yesterday for our passports with only 2 system restarts now. Just waiting about 4 weeks, they said. Yeah, Anita, I'm getting set up here too. That's why it always comes after the news and why I entertain it mostly at night, which is morning for South Africans. All right, Pierre Rousseau. Asked and answered. You have to go to the videos. You guys got to go there. Okay, let me just find it. So I'm not going to go into that right now. There's a super chat there. We just picked up the wife and 2 kids' passports this morning. Okay, there you go. See? People got their passports. People saying they can't get passports. Well, it's not true. Some people can't get it. Some people can. All right, 30 videos. It's back behind that 30 videos. Okay, breaking news. Change forever. I got to go find this video for you. Come on. There it is. Okay. Background checks. There it is. Financial resource. Got it. Jeez. Okay, here you go. So there's your answer. Just go look at that. That's a long answer, and I'm not going to recover that right now. So there's the answer on medical. Okay. There's the answer. Pierre, that's the answer. I've just posted it. We don't need police clearance. I don't know what your police clearance is. That must be something for you to get out of South Africa. So, I don't know. Yeah, if you've got it, sure, imagine. What's the stance on emancipated minors? Well, if they're emancipated minors and they have a court order, then they're adults. Then they can apply. Sorry, the signal's bad, Steve. Newsroom Africa, I mean, unless it's on YouTube, I can't watch it because they don't broadcast. Let me see if they're on. Nope. It's business. No, it's not business. Newsroom. Sorry, newsroom. I got the wrong one here. Newsroom. And I'm going there. There's no live for me to watch. Nope. No live for Newsroom Africa. This will be something they broadcast on the network, and I'll have to watch it if they do a clip later on. Okay. Yeah, it's tonight. It's on right now. It's on right now. Colonel, is there a defined window to apply for status? Nope. 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 It depends on what if the conditions change. If conditions change, then programs get rescinded and the window closes. Thank you for the super chat. Right there, 140 Rand. From Khan, my fellow South Africans, there is no program yet. Sit down, relax. It's a big wheel. Let us see what happens so we can make an informed decision. No, okay, everything you said is true except the last part. There's no 90-day ban on refugees. No. Come on. Again, for the 1,000th time. He issued an executive order on January 20th suspending the program in its entirety for the planet because of widespread corruption from the Biden regime. On February 7th, shortly after that, he issued an executive order directing that the State Department of Homeland Security draft a program and prioritize it for resettlement of Afrikaners suffering from unjust racial discrimination. That executive order, by its mere existence, overrides the executive order canceling it everywhere. And if they just finish this program, it could potentially, theoretically, go into effect instantaneously. So, yes, what you state is true, but it's not accurate, okay? Or they could continue to wait for the 90 days. We don't know. We have to wait and see. Martin JHB, what's going on, man? Yeah, Obamacare, it doesn't exist. See, that's the problem here. So what is Obamacare? It's not a medical program. It doesn't exist. It's bullshit. Obamacare is the Unaffordable Care Act. All it did was fuck up the insurance market for medical care in this country, driving the cost up 400% for most people who had insurance by giving free coverage to deadbeats and criminal alien invaders. There's no such thing as Obamacare. You don't have a card that says, ooh, I need medical care. Here's my Obamacare card. It does not exist. All the mechanisms existed prior to Obamacare still exist. They're just a lot more fucking expensive because of Obamacare, because this idiot destroying the healthcare industry. Why? To curry favor with pharmaceutical firms and with the insurance industry, who gave him millions of dollars to get reelected. There is no such thing as Obamacare. It's bullshit. All it did was fuck up the insurance and the healthcare market. No such thing. I don't have Obamacare. Nobody has Obamacare. And it screwed up insurance because it meant that people had pre-existing conditions. So you can walk in the door with stage 4 metastatic lung cancer and get the same rate for healthcare coverage that I get when I'm healthy. Now, how is that fair to me? They're going to pay out millions of dollars to give you healthcare as a cancer patient, and they're going to pay nothing for me. So that when I go to collect, they'll be bankrupt and I'll get no healthcare. Don't worry about Obamacare. It doesn't exist. It's nonsense. Neil is on. Well, I can't see what Neil's saying. I've also asked Neil to come on this channel. So, one question again. I have 3 daughters, but one of my oldest is on her mother's maiden name. We were not married at the time. I have 2 surnames. Got married, so one is abridged, unabridged. Okay, I don't know what the hell is abridged and unabridged. We don't have unabridged. This is some fantasy made up in South Africa. It doesn't mean jack to me as an American. You have to, and I don't care. I don't care about birth certificates. You know, passports is all we give a shit about. Passports. You have a passport, you can come. So this unabridged. Surnames don't matter. I mean, I've lived in blended families with kids having 3 different surnames. So I don't know how to answer your question, Vincent, because I don't understand the abridged and unabridged. I mean, I know one's long, doesn't have the parent's name on it. We don't care who your parents are. Who your parents are don't matter. I mean, if I suppose what your point is, if you come to a meeting to be interviewed, you have to prove it's your kid. But okay, I suppose you have that. But I don't know how to answer your question, Vincent. I'm sorry. It's just it doesn't make any sense to me. So I'm sorry. That's just silly, Anita. We don't even have to go to the Department of State. We apply for passports through post offices or online. We don't even go anywhere. Right, Charles. Okay, thank you. But you're once again making my point. That's an automated email. That is not in response to an email sent to you from the embassy. People claim they have emails from the embassy. It's not what you're doing. Okay? Gerard, Bernardo, good to you. It's good to see you there. Pete Fundelina. So what's concerning me is the names and the list I was not aware given to the embassy. But I didn't know that either. I want to know why they did it. I don't know they have a head start. You're making an assumption. I don't know they will either. We're just spitballing. Comes down to who needs it the most. I think people that suffer true losses should all be afforded the opportunity to leave first. Klaus, I don't think that'll be a consideration for the embassy. If you fall in a category, because it's a group category, then they're going to approve it. Passport renewed in 5 days. There you go. Just popping in, says Janisa. Feel like death warmed over. I'm sorry. You feel like death warmed over. All medical care is very expensive, so people must save money in medical savings accounts, just like with medical plans in South Africa. Well, it depends. I mean, you get an employer who has a generous health care plan, which a lot of them do, then you don't pay for anything. I have medical insurance, but it was supposed to be free because I'm a combat veteran and I'm disabled. And I'm Army retiree. All the things are supposed to entitle me to free medical care. Combat veteran for any combat-related illness or thing, any chronic disease or affliction as a consequence of my military service. And just the fact that I'm retired, I'm supposed to get free medical care. I don't. I have to pay for insurance. It was a scam. It's not very expensive insurance compared to most people. It goes up every freaking year. It goes up every year, and it goes up more than what I get in a cost of living adjustment. And on top of that, I have to pay co-pays because they don't provide enough services here because it's too small. Passports are done within a month, says Esther. Yep. Yeah, let's just put this kibosh on this now. Let me remind people now, because a lot of people who are new here. Folks, you need to go to my Substack and look at the most recent article. Where the hell's it at? Sorry. I get too many. This computer rebooted on me the other day. I don't know why. You need to go to my Substack, okay? And this is, go to Substack, and if you want to subscribe, that's great. And look at the article. It'll have links to all the key videos regarding finances, background checks, eligibility, 14 most commonly asked questions. So please go to that instead of asking the same questions here over and over again. Trump loves social media. Waited 3 weeks, says Ravani. Cost me 600 Rand. Yeah, that's what's supposed to be the first time. 600 Rand. My daughter just took her 5-month-old son to Seychelles. Only a passport, nothing else. Both parents to be present for the passport. Home Affairs says she does not need it unabridged. Well, Lorette, I'm shocked because South Africans usually won't let you leave the country, come in the country without an original birth certificate for the child. They did it at Idris Elba and pissed him off when he was doing filming in South Africa. Brought his son, a teenager, and they said, you can't bring this kid in this country. We don't know if you're human trafficking. Seriously? Stand in lines for hours, and when we get to the front, we might just get told to try again the following day. Sounds like clinics in South Africa. You wait forever, and then you get told to come back. Thoughts on Andreas Snell, candidate for... I covered that last night. You didn't watch that broadcast. Yeah, whatever. The guy's never done anything except work for the government and work for the Thule House. Never had a job, so... But apparently doesn't make waves. He's an ANC, so just no trust there whatsoever. Okay. Even if I needed an birth certificate, I don't have one. I'm 38, never been out of the country. So needed one with my passport. I don't know. I've never needed a passport to leave a country, any country. I mean, I've never needed a birth certificate. I've always needed a passport, not a birth certificate. Never heard of any birth certificate except for kids coming to South Africa. That's stupid. Do you want the responsibility? I won't promote it if you don't want it. What responsibility? What are you talking about, PK? What did I miss? Yes, you're staying in tents. Did you guys see that video? Let me show you that video for those who missed it. Get back here. All right. Here you go. So this is only at 12,000 views, so we'll show it here. So this is my video talking about that. Come on, stupid adverts. All right, this is what I had to say. I just did this, what, a couple days ago? Oh, yesterday, actually. Yeah, here we go. Here we go. So this is the question about tents. I'm going to answer your question directly about tents, okay? Here you go. Here's the story on tents, folks. This is important. Watch this video. All right, South Africa. Listen, this is important. I want you all to pay attention close to me, okay? Pay very close attention to what I got to say. Don't come to America. They're going to put you in tents. There's FEMA tents everywhere. They're right behind me. Can you see them? Look at right over there. FEMA tents everywhere. Federal Emergency Management Agency has got tents out here. When you come here as a refugee, they're going to put you in them. They're going to isolate you. They're going to segregate you. We all know that Americans hate foreigners. They're very xenophobic, kind of like South Africans. Yeah, so my recommendation is don't come to America. Don't take up the refugee offer. It's not real. Trump just made it up just to get angry at people. He's trying to get at the ANC. So, FEMA tents. Oh, yeah. You're going to have to pay your way here. And there's no money for refugees. And we don't have medical programs. And America's expensive. It's systemically racist. Don't come here. No, you're much safer in South Africa, where no murders occur, nobody's attacked, no women are raped, there's no gender-based violence, it's milk and honey. Stay there. It's not safe in America. It's windy out here. Do you hear that wind? The FEMA tents are blown away. That's why there's no tents behind. They just blew away. So, listen, I just want to let you know that you're not welcome here. Nobody likes South Africans. It's terrible. You know, you come here, we'll ask you about your lions and whether you have giraffes in your front yard. It's not for you. It's not for you. No. These are not the droids you're looking for. Don't come to America, South Africa. This is not for you. It's a dangerous place. Look at it. Look at the homeless. They're everywhere. It's not a safe place. You know, stay in Benoni. Benoni's much better for you. Ekurhuleni. eThekwini. Yes. It's not Grahamstown anymore. What's it called now? Makunda? Anyway, look, you're better. You're safer there. This is a dangerous place. Haven't you heard? Donald Trump, haven't you heard about him? He's a crazy orange man. He'll do anything. If you come here, he's going to put you in FEMA camps. And he won't let you have a bank account. And you can't buy property. And if he catches you making bribe rookies, 6 weeks in prison. Bribe rookies are banned in America. You can't make bribe rookies. Don't tell anybody. Don't tell anybody. And they'll make you. If they catch you drinking Castle Lager, that's an instant deportation offense. Listen, this is not for you. Okay, so, Afrikaners, this is not for you. Stay where you're at. You've got the best situation in the world. We know. Ronnie Lamola stood around polls and told us that South Africans love Afrikaners. You're welcome there. You're cherished. You're appreciated. Here, we're xenophobic. We don't like foreigners. Haven't you seen the news? It's unsafe here. So, from the FEMA encampment, somewhere in Pennsylvania, I'm saying, don't come here. Cheers.
And Doug.
And Doug. Yes, and Doug. So there you go, folks. Whoops, that's not what we want. Whoa, what's going on? We still got the screen up. So there you go. There's the story. You will be put in a FEMA tent, and you will like it. Yeah. Ek lag so hard my ton krom. Can I bring my own tent? No, you'll take a FEMA tent and have a big stamp. FEMA, refugee, dirty, unwelcome people. Yes, no. Oh, you'll be living in tents. This refugee offer from Donald Trump is very suspicious. I wouldn't trust him. It's just a plot. It's a ploy. Because he wants from South Africa from the fenbos. He wants a shrubbery. Donald Trump wants a fenbos shrubbery. That's what it's all about. Until you give us a shrubbery from the fenbos, we will punish you. We will punish you, and you will hold the Afrikaners over your head as a cudgel to threaten you. You must give us a shrubbery. We are the Knights of Ni, and we want a shrubbery. Give us a shrubbery. Oh, and we'll also take a few boermeisies as well. Give us your boermeisies. Need some farm girls. Need some milkmaids. Need some farm girls. But you keep those bribe rookies to yourself. That is a 6-week prison sentence in America. We catch you with bribe rookies. We put you in prison for 6 weeks. 6 weeks. By the way, ladies and gentlemen, did you see? Oh my goodness. Let me see if I can find this. This is fantastic. Okay, so I got to find this real quick. This is incredible. Let me find her shorts. Okay, where's she at? Come on. Where's her shorts at? Oh, come on. Did she take it down? No. Don't take it down. That's a great short. Let me go to her channel and see if I can find it that way. Oh, yeah, this is great. Okay, you're going to love this, folks. So we had Ziane on the channel the other day, and this is freaking awesome. So this is the Bribe Rookie girl, the Bribe Rookie song. She people were trying to troll her now by making these parodies of her Bribe Rookie song. Check it out. This is brilliant. This young lady's got her head on straight. You ready? All right, here we go. This is brilliant. I told her so last night. Here we go. Ready?
There's this Dutch video about me going around. Let's check it out.
Heb gij zin in een lekker worstenbroodje?
Dit is hoe wij het doen. Want een worstenbroodje is dit. Als jij een lekker broodje op de tafel wil, zet de airfryer aan. Het feestje is bijna aan.
Feestje is bijna aan.
Want Samantha heeft ons wel geleerd hoe je een worstenbroodje presenteert. En dan niet met kaas, want die kaas is dwaas. Want een worstenbroodje eet je met curry. De curry.
3 things. I'm not blonde. It looks blonde, it's not blonde, because ginger. Second thing, air fryer, bossy braai. Last thing, curry. But anyway, overall, 10 out of 10 for this video, and effort, A+. So apparently there's this Dutch video about...
That's just brilliant, man. The dude's not even Dutch. He's some freaking immigrant. Curry. Air fryer. Like an accordion. Oh, that's brilliant. I mean, look, his spoof is brilliant. And her response is even better. Look at her face, man. Ziani is brilliant, man. You gotta look at that face. Like, what the hell? 3 things. Number 1, it's not blonde. It's ginger. Number 2, air fryer. It's a braai boot. And number 3, curry. Exactly. By the way, ladies and gentlemen, my next trip to South Africa, if I do come to South Africa, we'll be appearing together. So she'll be appearing with me at an event. So, and we'll probably do a few cover songs and her Bride Brookie song. Okay. My goodness. I have crew serve weapons. Don't forget that. Air fryer plays like a concertina. Yep. That was hilarious. I love that. Well done to Ziane. That's just brilliant. That was Limu, Emu, and Doug. Oh my goodness. That's just brilliant stuff. Okay, let me see how that Africana video is doing. 16,047 subscribers. That one's taken off, man. Wow. 554. Wow. 1,700 likes on that thing. Out of 5,000 views. That's pretty impressive. All right, cool. Why doesn't Bud Light and Castle Lager hang out? Because Bud Light tried to steal the boys drinking Castle Lager and not the Burmeises. Oh, gosh. Okay, so. All right, so President Trump had his best idea, Rugby World Cup coming to America. Well, he had nothing to do with that. That was the IRB, World Rugby, did that. What Ernst is here? Okay. How's this Tesla selling? No, I didn't see anything. I have a Toyota Land Cruiser. Okay. Fiona said, camping, whoop, whoop, 50. Thank you for 50 Rand super chat. Are there shuttle services in towns? Okay, that's a very open-ended question, Yanni. Okay, in the towns. The closest town to me has a population of 3,500. There's a little thing called the Rabbit that runs around. It's a transport paid for out of tax dollars, but nobody rides on it, and it doesn't go where you want it to go when you need to go, so I wouldn't rely on its transportation. What do you mean by shuttles? We have buses in major metropolitan areas. We have streetcars in big cities. Yeah, so I don't know, but most places you have to have a car, man. You just have to have a car. You have to have a car. Yeah, that song's got a life of its own, man. Bride Brookies. Air fryers must fall. I don't get the whole air fryer thing anyway. What are you using air to fry food? What happened to a braai, man? It's proper cooking. Be in prison every 6 weeks for Bride Brookies. They cooked Viennas. We don't cook Viennas. What the hell are you talking about, Viennas? Stop insulting our wurst. Stop insulting our food. Viennas, no. We don't even eat those things. Those are for Europeans. Little finger sausages. They're not proper. Why don't... Okay. Herman Freyson. Sorry, I missed your membership. There you go. I laughed so hard. Yeah, no, that's... I thought that one would be fun. I enjoyed making that video. Hutful Bikers. Yeah, so... A hot dog is not a sausage. You're misrepresenting the facts. A hot dog is one form of food. We have Vienna sausages, we have hot dogs, we have kielbasa, we have Nürnbergers, we have all kinds of sauces. You don't whittle everything down to your stereotypical something you watched on the Brady Bunch. I don't eat hot dogs. I haven't eaten hot dogs for a long time. Makes the Breibrücke too dry. Yeah, no doubt. 57 Chevy as soon as I can. Well, good luck with that. Cars aren't expensive in the States. Depends on your opinion. I just saw a pickup truck for $18,000. I don't want to pay $18,000 for someone else's problems. Finding a good hot dog in the States is a whole mission of its own. Yep. Boerewurst will become popular. They're already here. We have Afrikaners here. I don't know. We got lots of Afrikaners here. They make biltong. Yep. Yeah, Uber is expensive. It used to be reasonable, but it's become quite expensive. I know a guy who knows a guy. Well, that sounds like this. Heard it from a friend who. Heard it from a friend who. Heard it from another. You've been messing around. You take it on the run, baby. If that's the way you want it, baby, then I don't want you around. New Camry is only $29,000. New Camry, really, $29,000. Okay, Toyota Camry 2025, $33,000. Toyota Camry, $28,700. Manufacturer suggests retail price with nothing in it. With nothing in it. It's just a frame. Okay, let's build one, okay? What color is this? Ocean Gem. Let's go with that stupid Ocean Gem color, okay? Build it now. Here we go. Let's go with this. 20705. All right, that's not my zip code, by the way. All right, so XL8, build this one, okay? I want some stuff in it. Ocean Gem is the color, okay? Interior is light gray. I want a black interior. Screw that light gray. Light gray is, no, that's hideous. Black. Okay, powertrain. Oh, that's the best one. Electric gas hybrid. I want all-wheel drive. That's $1,500 more. Oh, it's $1,500 less. Oh, it's $1,500 more. Okay, all-wheel drive. Premium package. Let's see what's in the premium package. Okay, so you get panoramic glass roof, front power tilt slide moonroof, 9-speaker JBL, premium audio system, ventilated front seats, 10-inch heads-up display, digital key capability, rain sensing wipers, driver's seat, and outer memory. Okay, we got to have all that. So we're going to add the premium package. Okay, what's the premium package plus? Oh, traffic assistance, rear car. Okay, that's actually what one we want. We want that one. So we change the premium package plus. Yeah, update. Okay, so we get rid of that. So now we get the premium package plus. Okay, options. Okay, we get the panoramic glass roof, the front tilt side roof. Okay, I don't think I need that. Wheels. Okay, I want the dark metallic gray wheels. Okay, I want the black alloy locks. Okay, put that on there. Okay, accessories. Floor liner, $300. Okay. All right. Protection. All-weather floor liners, trunk mat. Okay. I want the trunk mat, $120. Put a trunk mat back there. I want the door edge film, door edge guards. Yeah, I want that, $150. Door sill protectors. Yep. Okay. Okay. Mud guards. Yep. Absolutely. Okay. All right. What else? Styling. Okay. Don't need that. Rear spoiler. I'll put the spoiler on, just make it look cool. Storage. I'll skip all that. Technology. Okay. Integrated dash cam. I got that already. Series XM package for 3 years. Not even 3 years. $350. Okay. What else we got here? Lighting. Who made door sills? I like the sound of that. Okay. Trunk sill. That's important. Okay. Trunk LED. You have to pay for trunk LED bulb. Okay. Finish the build. Okay. $44,958. $44,958 for a car that does something. There you go. There you go, folks. $45,000. All right. I didn't get the extended warranty. Yep. Didn't even get the extended warranty. All right, so yeah, Camry, real cheap if you want nothing. You want nothing. Yes, I said, who can afford a new car setting a foot on the ground in the States unless you're wealthy and be able to transfer money? Yep. Pull up another vid. Of what? Yeah, it's Ravani, $45,000 in Rand is a lot of money. A lot of money. Going to be a few million Rand there, isn't it? No, it's almost $1 million. 45,000 times 19 is what? 800, 900? 855,000 Rand. There you go. If you join on the Americana group, it gave you a link to register your name. Andrea had MF Random. Okay. I don't even consider a new car. Yep. Yeah, 850,000. If I'm in the U.S., I'll upgrade my donkey car. Good day, Colonel. Thank you so much for your information podcast. A lot of hard work and a little sleep. The lady, Andrea, does fantastic work. Really appreciate it so much. Okay. $12,000 per cylinder seems pricey. Holden, I would agree. Yeah. The LE is the base and comes standard with wireless charging. You don't need that fancy shit. All right. Well, yeah. I'll tell you what. I like my tilt steering wheel so I can get in and out of the car because I'm tall and these sedans are too short. I like the remote keyless entry. I like the remote start. I like the fog lights. I like all that. So that's not a luxury to me. Heated seats, power seats. Yeah, I love all that. Gaiman says I'd rather walk. Well, proud Neanderthal Gaul, we've covered this. I'm not an expert on that, but people said the amount of money you can take out is $1 million Rand. But what you bring into the country is a whole different story. Anything over $10,000, you got to declare it to U.S. Customs, and you have to pay duty on it. They put a tax on what you bring in. I'm not an expert on that. Just know that's what you have to declare. And if you have an online bank account, or if you have an international bank account, you transfer money between here and there. That's a different story. So, no, it's well short of the average annual salary. The average annual salary is about $69,000 a year in the United States. Now, that's the per capita income. Mahindra. We can't get that. All right, Vilma, have a good night. Didn't even know you were here, Vilma. Oh, that's a lot for a car, but that's not even the car I want. I want a BMW 7 Series. Let's see. BMW. That's what I want. Bayerische Motorwerke. Okay. USA. Luxury SUVs. I'm going to get the SUV, okay? All right. The X330. I don't like that one. What's this electric crap? Who cares about electric? Here we go. This is what I want. Oh, come on. Build the BMW of your dreams. Okay. X3 5 Series sedan. They don't even have the 7 Series here. So I'm going to go with the 5 Series sedan, okay? All right, because I like the 5 Series. I like the 7 Series better. Okay, 5 Series sedan, build your own. Okay, let's go with that. Let's see what, okay, select the series. I want the I4, I5, I7. Oh, there's the 7 Series. Okay, here you go, 7 Series. X1, okay. What is it? X's, man. X7. They look ugly. They used to be prettier. Wow, I got a lot of cars. 3 Series sedan, 4 Series coupe, 4 Series convertible, 4 Series, 5 Series, 7 Series sedan. Here we go. All right, there we go. 7 Series sedan. All right. 3 liter, 4.4. That's the one I want right there. 4.4 liter. Okay. All right. I don't want that color. Carbon black metallic. Yeah, I don't like that either. Brooklyn gray metallic. No. Red metallic. Tanzanite. Yeah, that's kind of cool. Let's go with that, okay? All right, next. What kind of wheels do I want? I want the... I don't like that one. Let's go with that one. Okay, that one I'll go with. Next, upholstery. Okay. Okay, that black is good. Okay, next. Oak gloss, feline black. Okay. Go with that. Okay. Feature packages, premium. Illuminate kidney grill, parking assistant, parking view. Okay, and this one's, let's go with the low package, okay? Okay. All right, $127,000. $127,000 for a BMW. Yeah, okay. So that would be 127,000. Whoops, that's 127,000. Yeah, 127,000 times 19. That car would cost me 2.4 million rand. Yeah, that's right. Approximately 2.5 million. Oh my God, these prices. Yeah. You guys live in laps luxury. BMWs, Mercedes, and freaking Land Cruisers all over the place, but not here. Let me just go with something simple. Okay, let's go with a Hyundai. Okay, Hyundai. Let's go to Hyundai. These are cheaper. Okay, these are Korean cars, and they're good cars. I mean, I've rented a lot of Hyundais over the years. Come on, here we go. All right, let's go with Hyundai. All right, Hyundai. Build and price. Okay, here we go. All right. All right, here you go. The Kona, the Venue. The Venue is a little. Let's go to the Santa Cruz. That's that's not the one. The Tucson. All right, this isn't too bad. Tucson, Hyundai's Tucson. That's a little tiny SUV. $28,000. Top one's $33,000. So that's not too bad. Anyway, yeah, they're reliable. They're good cars. I have no problem with them. But that BMW is good too. But I can't afford that. That's way beyond my price range. Way beyond my price range. Braibrukis. I guess it's funny. I'm glad she found it though. Jeep Grand Cherokee. Oh, good luck with that. Just put in the steering on the right-hand side. Well, that won't work. Motorcycles means yeah, they are. Well, there's the freaking Harley Davidson factory just 30 minutes from my house. They make them in Wisconsin. They make them here, Milwaukee, and here. Harley Davidson, right down the road. Right down the road. I did drive a Hyundai for 12 years, and they're good. 10 years, I can use my Rans as toilet paper. Teslas are starting to 60,000. My daughter drove a Jeep. She loves manual transmission. Yeah, I love manual transmission too, but they're hard to come by these days. Sometimes you have to pay for manual. What's a Subaru? Do you mean a Subaru? Okay. The ANC Dula Omar region welcomes home Rasul. Thank you for that, Jan. I'll check it out. Let me see if I can check it out right now. Yeah, I knew that's going to happen. They're going to welcome him back. There it is. Ambassador Ibrahim. Yep. Cape Town International Airport, 11 o'clock on the 23rd of March. Huh. So, Neil Diamond, President of South African Chamber of Commerce, USA, during the handover stated, this information handover is more than a procedural. It's a bridge to new beginnings for thousands of South Africans. We refocus on promoting binational trade and investment. There you go. Just look for used vehicles. Yeah, there's lots of them, but they're expensive because of COVID. It all pushed up all the prices. Hyundai Elantra is a very good car. Yep. Well, if you have trouble with a car after 20 years, that's just a matter of time. Kia is inexpensive. Yep. Well, it's not so easy to get a stick here in America anymore, Corey. It's mostly automatics now. Yep. Yeah, you can pick up a secondhand Tesla because the Democrats are dumping them. It won't be going to Europe, the U.S. to drive a European car. They have done so much to us and we have been ever so patient. The day that pressure releases will be glorious, says Tibet. All right, yeah, well, that's probably true, man. That's probably true. So let's see, we got 4,780 people have tuned in. It's 801 likes. Thanks for that, folks. I watch Scotty Kilmer's channel as well. It's a car care, not what? Motorbike. Okay, I gave your video a like. Well, thank you for that, Ronald. I appreciate that. Anyway, yeah. So there you go, folks. That's where we're at and all that. Let me see how we're doing on subscribers over here. Give you a little date on the chart. For 59,442. So we're a long way from 60,000. We still need 558 to get to 60,000. I don't think we'll get there today. Last month we would have gotten there today. That Alfred Connor's video was at 16,900 views last time I looked, and now it is at 19,900. Okay. So we're getting some subscribers from that. 19,900. Cool. All right. That's good to see. Overall, let's take a look at the stats on the program. But by the way, we went over 10 million views. I mentioned that. So, so yesterday I dropped to 100,000 views. Wow, dropped. That's wild to be able to say that. Dropped to 100,000 views. That's just crazy. But we had 14,000 views today between 12 and 1, and we had 17,000 between 1 and 2. Wow. Now, this hour, we're only at 3,700, but only 3,700. We're only 15 minutes in the hour, so 4 times that'd be pretty cool. Yeah, so I had a Honda CRX. Used to have a CRX. So lifetime on the channel now. We've got 10.2 million views and 983,500 hours of watch content. We are within 16,500 hours, I think, at 1 million hours of viewed content. That's crazy, folks. That number is probably higher. If you promise, I can promise you that. It would surprise me. Yeah, Minister. Yeah, I got that, but I can only go with the data that's provided and make a reasonable projection off that. So off of 67,042, giving an average family size, considering many people are single, many people are kids are out of the house. Taking the median figure of 2 parents, 2 children, realizing that some farmers are much larger than that, then that's going to give you 275,000 minimum. And that's just for the South African Chamber of Commerce. People keep fixating on it. They're not the only place people talk to. There have been a lot of people contact the embassy directly. We've had 40 to 60,000 people ask questions on this channel alone. You know, it adds up, folks. And that's the people who've actually overcome their fear of asking somebody something. Others are just keeping quiet. It could be shockingly high. South African government ought to be terrified about that 67,000 figure. If it had been 6,000, could have dismissed it. Been 3,000, you could have rubbished it. But 67,000 people directly? Wow. Wow. Wow, wow, wow. That's a lot. All right, so yeah, 10.2 million. So let's look at that last 90 days, because that's really when the channel is taking off. In the last 90 days, so of that 10 million views, Marina Fissar just subscribed, of that 10 million views, 6 million of them come in the last 3 months. And most of that's come since February 1st. Yeah. Wow. Wow. That's crazy. It's crazy. So, yeah. 6 million views in the last 90 days. That's awesome, man. Awesome sauce. Thank you all so much. It all is possible with your all's help. By the way, the other day we had the biggest day ever on the channel. 195,000 views. I think it was 191, 195,000. It's really awesome. And thank you all for watching the channel, because we're getting ad revenue coming in, which is very helpful. Very helpful. Yeah, so appreciate that. And that's where most of the money is coming in. Not a lot of money comes in, but most of the money's come in ad revenue on this channel. So thank you so much for that. Yep. Yep. That's where I get almost nothing off the short. I made $1.43 in the last month off of my shorts. $1.43. Oh, man. Yeah, okay, so you've got another window telling me there's 829 people watching. I don't have that. See that? Look at that. They don't even show that to the guy whose content is. Yeah, YouTube is trying to keep you, Colonel, from moving to Rumble. I don't think they're trying to keep me from moving to Rumble. If they did, they'd show me the true numbers. Yep. How is teacher pay that side? Master's degree in math and physics, and not even getting the average salary. Well, I can tell you, okay, I'll get you a math teacher's pay. Okay, let me see. Math teacher, say LA or A. Okay, let's check this out. Okay. Nearby school, okay? All right. Oh, that's school administrator. That doesn't help. I'm looking for a teacher. Let me see. Well, that doesn't help me. That's the educator Snowy Shapsot. It says chief administrator. That doesn't help. Okay. Okay, it looks like the median pay is about $56,000 here in the school district. Okay? So, most people make in that range, yeah. About 66% of people make between $50,000 and $75,000. With your skills, if you've got a teacher certification, which you're going to have to get, you'd probably be making $75,000 per year in a local peri-urban school district here in central Pennsylvania. So 75,000, okay, times 19. Your salary would be 1.4 million rand per year. Okay. Secretary hints at a major revelation with the release of JFK files. Okay, well, I hadn't seen that. Which secretary? Secretary of what? Joel Pollack says that most likely they will not move the U.S. consulate. It will most likely be just closed. Yeah, well, all right, that's true. I think they'll just change the address by getting a mailing address elsewhere, but we'll see. Sorry to hear that, Chronic. Okay. Yeah, Minister, I don't need you telling me that you need to factor in the cost of living. I don't need to know that. I've lived all over the world. I know how life works. I'm not 22. So, yeah. You asked how much. I told you how much. And I told you how much it is in Rand. Okay? Now, you know, that $75,000 can go a lot further than you realize. So. White House Deputy Press Secretary. Thank you. Okay? Well, that's not the secretary. Secretary is Secretary of Defense, Homeland Security. You know, those are secretaries. Price of Indian motorcycles, they're not cheap. Indians are expensive. Yeah, 75,000. What do you mean a decent amount? It's the highest per capita income of anywhere in the world except for Brunei and frickin', you know, Switzerland and Dubai. Everything else, well, it's only a handful of countries have higher per capita income. Highest income by country. Thank you, Viliana Hutninger. Okay, so list of countries. Okay, GDP per. Luxembourg. Okay, Singapore, Qatar, and Ireland. Okay. Per capita income. Here we go. 2021. This is a couple years old now. I'll stop that. Oh, well, let me see it. It's telling me I need to have damn count there. Anyway, it's not important. Yeah, what you make is what you make. You know, you learn to live within your means. That's how it works, folks. Stop converting dollars. You would go anywhere. Would go anywhere if you do that. Huh? What do you mean, Anita? Also has more knowledge and extreme. What's this? He also has more knowledge and expense and has no bias versus Joel. So I think this is just me. He can really help Southampton citizens. Who's that? Who's that, PK? Yeah, well, you look in the U.S. context, but I can tell you make $75,000, you can live quite well if you know what you're doing. Ask of who posted about USAID stop, which will result in 8 countries now running out of HIV treatment. These countries should have done something. Yes, Anita, they should have. It was a 5-year program. We've carried it for 22 years, and those countries should have done something. Oh, by the way, instead of UNAIDS complaining about it, why don't they give the money? Instead of who complaining about it, why don't they give the money? Well, that's right, because we're the ones who provide all the money for them, too. So, yeah, these countries should provide their own resources. The European Union wants to help out so much. Instead of funding climate change, why don't you fund HIV meds? Yep. Besides being a source of facts on YouTube, what do you do for a job? I'm perfectly comfortable saying, Super D, you must be new to the program. I'm a consultant. Retired colonel and from the Army. I'm not retired. I work 7 days a week. I wasn't doing YouTube. I just did it as a, get the news out there and spread the word of my consultancy. So, for instance, next week and the week after, I'll be out of town. See me scratching there. I'll be doing consulting work for the U.S. Army War College. I used to do consulting work for Berlitz. I've done it for several defense contractors and for businesses. So I take what's offered. That appeals to me. I've had several job offers I've turned down so I could keep doing this, which were quite lucrative. I was offered a defense advisor position in Madagascar, another position in Mauritius. I was offered a position in Uganda, and where's the most recent one at? I can't remember now. Anyway, that's 4 jobs I've turned down. The lowest paying one was $190,000 a year, I think it was. So, yeah. But I wanted to do it for 6 months, and they wouldn't agree to that. So 6 months I'll do. I won't do a year. I'm not going to go someplace that's broken for a year of my life at this stage. I'm not 28 anymore. So, yeah, I write, publish author, and I write for newspapers and for publication, and I research, and I travel. And, yeah, so all that. I'm a judge of elections. So I oversee elections in my local voting district, which is the second largest in my administrative area, my county. And I'm also commander of a veterans organization. That eats up a lot of my time, No compensation, it's for free. Eats up a lot of my time. So those are the things I do. Yep. Yeah, couponing is big. Self-checkout at stores. Yeah, that's a relative recent development. Now that more information is emerging, both nations deny that this is Iranian ship is saying. Again, that was just people spreading that last night. I said I can find no confirmation other than some unreliable website that claimed it happened. Oh, what's this? It's not just the War College, it's consultancy all over the place. I've gone to Georgia, to North Carolina, Colorado for consultancy, London for consultancy. Yep. If it hadn't been for the lockdown, I would have had much more because a lot of work was coming my way, and then the lockdown, everything disappeared. You have a specific skill for automotive electrician? We just have automotive mechanics. I don't think there's a specific skill. That's part of the skill set. Mechanics can make a lot of money. Yep. I can't answer that question, Vincent Fogel. The average living expense. There is no average living expense. What I pay to live here is far less than if I lived in Manhattan. When I retired, I had an opportunity to go work for Union Bank of Switzerland, but I was unwilling to, and also BlackRock recruited me. I was unwilling to work there unless I was going to make $500,000 a year. That's not arrogant. That's just, I'm not going to go work and live in New York, which has become a shithole, unless I make enough money to bank a bunch of cash. Because it cost me easily $200,000 to have a decent life in Manhattan between rent and cost of everything. Oh, PK says to me, oh, thank you, PK. I didn't know who you were talking about. Some research in the field I have experience in as a restaurant manager. In some places you earn $60,000 a year, others you earn $100,000. Depends on where you go, exactly. Depends on where you go. All right, Marissa, have a good night. Right, the European Union has pledged 4.7 trillion or 4.7 billion euros, but how much actually shows up? Any idea what a very experienced, very skilled mechanic would earn? Depends where you're at, man. Here, I'd say you probably make 45, 50,000. Oh yeah, thank you, PK. I do. 98 billion rand wouldn't even scrap the sides of the ESCOM debt. Exactly. Want to make the water use license? Oh my goodness. Yanni Russo says, if you're so busy, when will you get time for the promised bride? I didn't promise any bride. When did I promise to do a bride? My wife, on the other hand, sits 2 minutes in public with a stranger, and when I get there, they're talking about family trees and stuff. There you go. News 24, Southern government condemns Israel for a strike, working on U.S. news again, begging to get kicked out of a go. Nerves, okay. Anita says, I meant that a refugee will get support from the U.S. if it is eventually done. Anybody who works in the U.S. will live according to their means, as they currently have to do. Yep. That's true. Thank you, Simon Stephen, for subscribing. I'm really starting to think that getting kicked out of a Goa is their goal. Yeah. Francois Conradi answered that question many times. Getting your firearms is a problem. Because South Africa won't give you export permits. You're going to have to fight with the South African authorities to get the export permits, and then you have to go to the Alcohol, Tobacco, and Firearms about importing firearms. But you guys keep acting like you're all acting like you're immigrating to America. You're not immigrating to America. This is a refugee program. Most refugees are sitting in camps. There's the camps they talk about in Chad, in South Sudan, in Uganda, in Kenya. 7.6 million people in the queue waiting to be resettled somewhere who are living in tents. Many don't have passports. They certainly don't have rifles and guns and things. You guys are like, okay, you're not immigrating to America. Let's wait and see. Economics of fresh produce. Yeah, Yanni, I know you promise. I'm just making fun of it. Do you think Trump will also look at the green card lottery players? I think the green card lottery will be suspended, honestly. Once the State Department, once the Trump administration sees what's going on, they're going to suspend that. Our time to give you views and ad revenue is good enough, but we're not good enough to be invited to a braai. I didn't. I'm not doing a braai. You can buy anything here, firearms. Hey, Sonia, I was lying down in the bed watching the dragon coming down and fell asleep. Call woke me up. Oh, welcome. Okay. $5 million for a gold card. Yep, well, there's always been a financial way to come to America. That's just a new one. Just a new one, guys. I guess we're not going to get to 1,000 likes tonight. No, most of you don't. I mean, almost nobody here has a point of reference, and that's understandable. Why would you? Sir Raven, 70 Rand, thank you for that, buddy. Yeah, don't have a point of reference when talking about refugees. We're just trying to make sense of it. I understand, Mariki. That's why I'm trying to make the point. People have to understand. You're not an immigrant. People are thinking like they're moving like immigrants. We have to wait and see what they say. Uns gaan braai now. Okay, so, yeah. No braai, no more likes. Oh, now you're trying to extort me, huh? 512 million firearms owned in the U.S. with civilians owning the majority of them. Yep. More guns than people in America. Yep. That's correct. You're right on the spot there, Light Rain. Can you share that email again? My wife keeps nagging me to share a tent picture with you. Huh? Oh, that. Okay. Like, what email? Tell it my email. I'm going to have to look at my damn email. Probably have a lot of emails in there today. Oh, Renelle beat me to it. Superstar moderate. I don't give Renelle enough credit. She's been doing a lot of great stuff there. Thank you for that, Renelle. I think when we all get there, we should at some point try to get a hold of each other. Guys, Florida, Arizona, Washington State, Minnesota, Illinois, Maine. These are multi-day journeys from every direction. You all act like it's like, okay, we'll meet in Joburg. We'll meet in Pretoria, Linwood. Guys, it ain't that easy. You think South Africa's big. It's nothing compared to America. 1,000,000 miles apart, yep. Yeah, USA is huge. Thanks for cheering me up. Yeah. We're all going to Pennsylvania. I don't think so, Carl. I don't think. You don't understand how big America is. It's not like a country. One state is like our whole country. $3,000 miles coast to coast, about 1,800 miles from north to south. Yep. Cruising with Chris. That's cool. I like that username. Why would Trump want to hurt innocent people? First we can. You kill the grass in my lawn, you're going to be very, very unpopular with me. The way the water is supplied in Schwanee to tenders with water trucks, farmers sure will have a hard time with irrigation. Yep. Martini Henry. So the 1980 is probably the most objective and honest. The government's been messing with the census ever since then. But in 1980, people were self-reported their ethnic origin, and 45% of Americans in 1980 were of German descent. Now, that didn't mean they didn't have Irish descent or black African descent, but 45% of Americans were aware of German ancestry in 1980. That figure now is listed in the 30s, but it's still pretty high. So big German communities, well, there used to be massive German communities in Baltimore, New York, Philadelphia, Chicago, But the Germans have mostly assimilated into America long ago. So if you go back 100 years ago, 110 years ago, so early part of the 20th century, we had German newspapers all over the place. There were like 2 or 3 in Baltimore. Most of the breweries in this country before Prohibition were run by Germans, and they had proper German beer, German businesses. So, but you don't really, you've got some pockets where Germans are today, but they don't really live as Germans, and they haven't since they come here. When I say there's a need for pneumatics on tankers, what are you talking about, fuel tankers? Yeah, the vols came back, and then I got rid of them again, and then they came back, and I got rid of them again, so we'll see what happens in the spring here. Why do you think I don't like O'Brien, Mauritius Naaman? You're just making assumptions unfounded. Just showed you guys a video of Daniel van der Wetsoys and I Brian yesterday. See your cock funny video. It was pretty cock funny. No, he won't take an IU for the gold card. Well, I think it's overrated too, the Bry. How will I get my little money? What is little money, Gideon Saman? Go to Trump's Mar-a-Lago. Fine, go to Mar-a-Lago. See if you get in. Only the FBI can get in at Mar-a-Lago. All right, everybody's dropping off on me here going to bed, so I'm going to drop off too and take a break. Wednesday's a busy day for me, and I've got Neil DeBeer on Thursday, by the way, folks. For those who are curious, Neil DeBeer will be here on Thursday, and we'll be talking 7 p.m. South African time. We'll be talking about all these events and what's going on. All right? Cool beans. And anything breaks, I'll get it to you. I've still got a couple videos I got to make based on the press conference yesterday from the State Department. Some asylum seekers may be held in detention facilities while their cases are processed. Refugees in the U.S. are generally not living in camps. Well, they're not at all living in camps. No one lives in camps. There are no refugees living in camps. That's simply untrue. All right, guys, take care. Thanks a lot. Have a good one. And I'm going to get something to eat, too. I'm kind of hungry. All right. And thank you for the good wishes. Same to you. All right. We got 409 people here. So let's leave you with, what do you guys want to hear? You want to hear Persona non grata or Colonel Wyatt's Anthem? Which is it? Persona non grata or Colonel Wyatt's Anthem? Tell me. I'm going to play one of them. Colonel Wyatt's Anthem or Persona non grata. Or we could do global diplomacy dance. But I mean, the Anthem. Okay, the Anthem. Okay, cool. We're going to play it. Persona. Ooh, Anthem. Anthem's getting it. Okay, here we go. Thanks, guys. Take care.
Colonel Wyatt hits the screen, got stories bold and keen. Old soldier, sharp and mean, tells truths they've never seen. Rugby lover with a roar, Africa flowing in his core. YouTube rants they can't ignore, his passion makes his heart soar. Colonel Wyatt, hear his call, shining light through it all. Trolls may rise, but he'll stand tall. Subscribe now, don't miss the brawl. Military mind, keen and wise, truths come out, no disguise. South African skies in his eyes, hear his voice, no surprise. Retired soldier with the fight, in the dark he brings the light. Angry rants, truths ignite, join the cause, join the ride. Colonel Wyatt, hear his call, shining light through it all. Trolls may rise, but he'll stand tall. Subscribe now, don't miss the brawl. Enemies knocked on his door, trolls attack, but he's more with each click. Watch him soar on the truth waves. He explodes. Colonel Wyatt, hear his call. Shining light through all. Trolls may rise, but he'll stand tall. Subscribe now, don't miss the brawl. Right now, don't miss the brawl.
Take a picture.